In the early hours of night I opened up the app. There saw 1,000 fools online, all spewing out their claptrap. Grabbed myself a coffee, said a prayer before the battle. Cracked my knuckles, cleared my throat, prepared to scatter cattle. For the degenerates were posting of their filth, they all were boasting. Every sacred thing worth holding they were mocking and were roasting. With my Bible and my wit, I refused to let them sit, trying to humble every twit on the rocky road to TikTok. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the serpent, cut him down, expose him where he hides all the way through TikTok. Watch them fall tonight. First I found a skeptic who was proud of his rejection. Thought he'd studied all the text but couldn't pass inspection. Threw his little arguments like pebbles at a tower. Watched them bounce right off the walls and crumble in an hour. Oh, he stammered and he stuttered, every comeback that he muttered fell apart like stale bread that was moldy, torn and buttered. All his followers went quiet when they saw him lose the riot on the rocky road to TikTok. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the serpent, cut him down, expose him where he hides all the way through TikTok. Watch them fall tonight. Then there came a louder voice who loved his sin and pleasure, called the wicked things he did his freedom and his treasure. Said that God was just a myth, morality a prison, but he couldn't hold his ground once the actual bait had risen. Oh, his confidence was cracking, any substance he was lacking. Sent him home with all his pride in pieces and in packing. Serpent thought he had the juice, but I cooked him like a goose on the rocky road to TikTok. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the serpent, cut him down, expose him where he hides all the way through TikTok. Watch them fall tonight. Started flying, all the heathens were uniting. Thought their numbers gave them power, thought they'd send me into hiding. But I've read the end already, know exactly how this goes. Every enemy of heaven always reaps just what he sows. So they came in waves like vermin, but I stood there never squirming. Gave them each a turn to speak, then sent them homeward burning. One by one they bit the dust, their arguments were rust on the rocky road to TikTok. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the serpent, cut him down, expose him where he hides all the way through TikTok. Watch them fall tonight. Now the battle isn't over, there'll be more of them tomorrow. More who think their cleverness can save them from their sorrow. But I'll be there with the truth, unmovable and steady. Every serpent, every fool, I promise I'll be ready. So if you're feeling bold
We're gonna talk about that.
want to test your might, step into the ring with me, let's see if you can fight. But know that when you lose your ground and tumble all around, you got cooked without a sound on the rocky road to TikTok. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the serpent, cut him down, expose him where he hides all the way through TikTok. Watch them fall tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the serpent, cut him down, expose him where he hides all the way through TikTok. Watch them fall tonight. Whack full only
Bert just snuck in on the camera, just in the corner. You see him. Hey everybody, how's everybody's Monday going? Hope everybody's having a good day. Make sure you smash that like button 19 times if you're having a good day. Drop 19 in the comments. Somebody said it looks like I could already tell John didn't have a good sleep. You're right. You're right. I gotta tell a story. I gotta show that I'm not a man. I gotta show that I'm just a big old baby right now. I decided, so you guys know that I'm a horror movie entrepreneur. Not entrepreneur. What do you call it? Well, you're into horror. I like horror movies. Oh, I forgot to turn on. Anyways, I like horror movies. I love to watch them all the time. One of my favorite things to do is watch, like, I love the whole, Conjuring. Like, I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. One of the movies that's been on my list for a while, and I wasn't sure, Enthusiast, thank you. I wasn't sure if I should or should not watch it, was Obsession. And I kept seeing it pop up on my screen. Obsession, obsession, obsession. Like, oh my, I'm like, you know what? This looks really good. I'm going to watch it. So I looked it up. One thing I won't watch is like if it's intensive gore for no reason. Like I don't like those types of horror movies where it's just like, ah, yeah, I'm just going to chop off your arm and beat you with the limbs because that's scary. No, that's not what I like. So I looked up and it's like, oh, it's not apparently not that crazy gory. I was like, okay, all right, I'll watch it. I watched it. I'll tell you this right now, guys. I am not a man. I was scared shitless. Scared shitless. Terrified. I'm still scared. I woke up today thinking about it. Still scared. Still scared. I went to bed last night. I went to the bathroom. I got smart lights through my house, and to open my phone, I turn on every freaking smart light in the house. It's like boop, 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 boop. I'm not going to bed. I'm not walking through the dark. I ain't doing that right now. I'm like boop, boop, boop. I'm turning on every single smart light. I was like, oh my God, that's terrifying. I go to bed, grown man to protect the house. I wake up my wife, baby, I'm scared. baby, I'm scared.
I was already awake, to be fair.
I wake up my wife, baby, I'm scared, baby. I'm scared. I'm scared, baby. Would I watch it with Jesus? I would have preferred to watch it with Jesus. That would have been the best bet. That would have been the best choice. I would have sat down and watched that with you. I would have been like, Jesus, keep me safe from whatever's going on here, man. I prayed. Abby prayed over me. It was scary, bro. It was like, and listen, maybe it was just me. Maybe it's something that clicked in my head because I watch a lot of horror movies. A lot of people watch this, didn't find it that scary. Me, I found it terrifying. Terrifying. Ugh. Don't recommend. Highly don't recommend. Not for everyone. Not for everyone. I'm still scared. I came out of the bathroom. Abby was standing in the office. I didn't know she was here. I walked in. I was like, my goodness gracious. I'm scared. I got to keep an eye on her now. Like, somebody said Bear is a loser. One thing I will say, I've seen a lot of comments talking about how like Bear is the villain of the movie. Bear is not the villain. He's not a good guy. He's not like some great hero, but he's not a villain. He's just a victim of circumstance. People really came down on him. Like he did literally what 90.9% of people would do in those situations. Right? He's just a little scared to ask a girl. That's all he had. We're getting a lot of super chats already. For the prophet John Steele, peace be upon him, the prophet that was foretold by Allah because Allah predetermined all disagreements against Islam. That's true. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I'm literally in evidence. That was part of his argument on, if you guys didn't know, I'd had a debate on Saturday. Part of his argumentation for proof of Islam was me. I was literally part of that evidence. So I thought the answer to life was universal and everything was 42, not 19. Darn, I've been wrong this whole time. I know. I thought it was 42 as well. You deserve a better debate. That was sad to watch. I do deserve a better debate. You're right. I'm a prophet, y'all. Me too. Muhammad is, so am I. Did you see that Jesus and Whatnot debate with baked, I mean born again atheist? That was so bad. I was thinking about doing a reaction to it, but I'm like, we're not going to make it 15 minutes. She doesn't say anything. She thinks she's funny and she's just cringe. She's like, I'm so, yeah, your God is evil. Oh, he did all these bad things. I could use the same joke. She'd like make these weird sounds. It's like, dog, you agreed to a debate. You host a debate channel and you're like, oh, I think I'm funny. It was cringe. Man. It's like you're like a weird kid in like high school that no one wanted to talk to, which was like who I was in high school. But like you're that as an adult. Abby showed that, and she's like, Abby's like, sometimes I realize that kids are kids. And I'm like, I think this person's like almost 30. I don't even know. Like,
and then I wanted to cry.
And she wanted to cry. It was bad. Our Caliph Sheikh John Ibn Steele demands $2.19 per. Amen. Everybody, if everybody gives $2, we don't need a whole bunch of fat cows to feed the household. I just joined. What movie was I talking about? Obsession. It scared the crap out of me, man. I watched horror movies to go to bed to. That's what I did in my life. I love horror movies, but that movie got me. It got me, man. It did it for me. I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't never watching a horror movie again. Ain't ever watching a horror movie again, bro. I saw that even atheists disown her. LOL. How did they get that from Al? Like, bro, it was bad. It was bad, man. It's not worth watching. Do not go watch. I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you want to watch it, good luck. You're gonna watch it and you're like, that wasn't even a big deal. Oh, good for you. Yeah, anyways. Yeah. Don't even go bother watching that debate. Don't do it. Obsession wasn't scary, just creepy. I guess, like I said, it probably just hit me different. For some reason, I found it terrifying. Terrifying. Absolute. Like it's probably because it's my worst nightmare.
Someone being obsessed with you?
That obsessed? Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is pretty disturbing.
It's really disturbing. Metaphysics. Yeah. Metaphysics. What did she say the last night? I was like, I couldn't believe she said it. I had to quote it in the chat. Hold on. Let me find it. Yeah. She said metaphysics and philosophy is just what like people used to cope or used to make up shit.
Oh, dear.
It was so bad. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I also got to show you guys a video. Hold on. Come on. Oh yeah. Yeah, this quote got me. I'm my own grandpa with a brain and DNA and stuff. That was one of her arguments.
What?
She used the argument of motion to conclude that she was her own grandpa with a brain and DNA. And so she's like, oh yeah, we both can. Yeah, that was it. She's like, we both can use the argument of motion to prove God. Like, see, atheism, motion, my hand moves, I pick up the cup and my own grandpa with a brain and DNA and stuff. I was like, what the hell is this girl smoking? It was bad. Okay. This is for the chat, by the way, our guys, like the fam, the people that hold us down. You guys are going to love this. A quote from Fearless Truth we got last night. Are you guys ready for this? A quote from Fearless Truth. Hold on. Let me turn the volume up.
Big John says bro's out here doing church apologetics. Wait, I forget. Let me leak what church John goes to. Hold on one second. I'm gonna leak the church that Big John goes to. Y'all ready right now? Make sure y'all screen record this. I'm gonna leak exactly what church Big John goes to since you wanna sit here and act like that. All right. Big John goes to the non-testimonial Northern Southern Pro-Adox Church of Christ Bones to the western east of the Womanstantinopole.
You said Womanstantinopole.
That's hilarious. Did he just have that off the cuff? Like on hand?
He said it. I tried to post it in the Discord for y'all, but it wouldn't let me post videos. So he said it.
I guess it's in your bio now.
Yeah, it's in my bio.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I like that he knew where to. I just like that he had it so quick.
New music from WC Trust, including a BGS dedication. What are you talking about? What is WC Trust? Q jump scare. Yeah. You got me. Listen. It's officially out there. All right, guys.
Funny.
Smash like button, share live, do the things you need to do. Let's do a quick prayer and let's get started. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for all that you've given. Walk with us this day. Be present with us. Allow us to have good conversations and for not to have good ones. Give us the spirit to strike down the bad ones. And Lord, just be here. In Jesus' name, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. God is good. All right, guys. If you're watching on TikTok, we do have the multi-guest feature back. If anything happens, you guys will have to come into the tiny URL /BGS guest 2. Password 12345. Abby, you can open up the shorts chat and we can get started. Do you guys prefer having more real estate on the screen, by the way? You can actually see your text now. You can actually see your stuff.
Striker wants to know if you have an opinion on creatine.
Yeah, I take 5 grams every day.
You said it's like the most researched.
It's the most researched supplement that you can get that has nothing but benefits. And your body, you cannot get enough creatine eating food. Like, you just can't do it. You can try as much as you want. You will not get enough creatine throughout the day to really see the positive benefits. You can eat 5 grams a day if you want to see positive effects to your body, right? Carrying the proper amount of water in your muscles. You'll probably get about 5 pounds of muscle growth in a year just from creatine without working out. If you want to see positive mental effects, then you're going to need about 20 grams of creatine a day, which is really expensive. But if you want to have those positive effects that affect your mind, the way you sleep, dementia, things like this, yeah, you're going to look about 20 grams, which eventually I want to get into. We just can't afford that right now. Monohydrate specific. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. That is right. Monohydrate specific. Anyways, today's topic, I got the wrong ticker on, by the way. Today's topic is what is your justification for Islam or atheism? That is today's topic. So I'm looking for justifications for what you believe. Or we could, and if we don't get enough people for that, we could switch it up to like just any generic belief, whatever, but looking for a justification for it. Looking for a justification. Do we take up TikTok? Yes, we will be taking up TikTok, yes, but I assume that the troll is going to be back. I assume. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm 20 years old. I was born in 2005.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
My justification for atheism is that atheism is believing in what we know. And I believe what we know does not entail beyond what we know. And I think theism claims are beyond what we can know or justify.
Is God real?
I don't believe that. I believe it's unjustified, so it's unknowable. We can't know it.
Okay, that's agnosticism, not atheism.
Agnostic
After
atheism. I believe atheism to be true.
We will only ever have 19 members. Reminder to all to pay $2.19 jizya for our rightly guided Caliph Sheikh John Ibn Steele.
Right. All right. So is God real? Yes, no, or I don't know.
It cannot be known, and for that reason,
okay,
I am atheist.
That's agnosticism.
Agnostic atheist. I'm atheist because agnosticism is true.
Okay, is God real? Yes, no, or I don't know. Or yeah.
No one knows.
Okay, that's agnosticism.
And it's agnostic atheism because
okay, is God real? Yes, no, or I don't know.
That's not how that works.
It is how it
knowledge.
Works. Yeah.
No. A non-knowledge claim is not a belief claim. Those are different.
I'm not talking about a belief claim. That's why it says justification. I'm looking for a doxastic attitude.
Yeah, it is a form of agnosticism, but I believe everyone is agnostic.
You cut me off before I finished, so you didn't hear what I said. I'm asking for a doxastic attitude.
What's that?
Yeah, it's the actual claim towards the direction, not your mental state. So your justification.
Yeah, my claim, like you're asking me to repeat my justification for atheism?
Well, you didn't give a justification. You gave me a belief system.
Okay, my justification for atheism is that everyone is agnostic.
That's agnosticism. What's your justification for atheism?
Which is a reason to be a sufficient reason.
Guy's literally retarded. What? It's just going in circles.
We've been here for like 3 minutes.
I know. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 25.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
For Islam, I would say the justification is whether we're humans that are made, and we agree both that God made us. And when we look at the scriptures, I think we are made to relate more to Islam, and it's factual, and
that's not a justification. Those aren't justifications. Those are just what you're inclined towards.
Right. The justification for it is that there is no contradiction. There is no way of other place where the language is used that it's in the Quran.
Hold on. So let's pause there. Do you think something not having contradictions proves that Islam is true?
No. I was actually about to say some more things. So please, when it comes biological information, when it comes to scientific information.
Hold on. Before you do more things, is not having contradictions a condition for it being true?
If it's only that, no.
That's not what I asked. Is it a condition?
No. So I will take that back. No, it's not.
Okay.
Because you.
So not having contradictions. Okay. What's another one then? What's another condition?
Yeah. It's from the time 1400 years ago. It has biological, scientific information, which it's now proven to be correct without them having any way of verifying it solely.
Okay.
But
sure. But then you're gonna have a contradiction because the Quran says it's for all people for all time, and is a proof for all people in all time according to 2:185, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if those scientific miracles are being proven today, what was the proof for people 500 years ago?
Yeah, they're so faith in God that when they hear it and they believe it.
So faith is not a justification.
No, I'm saying they believed something which couldn't be proven,
Yeah,
but
that's
they
not a
believe it.
justification. That's just what they're inclined towards belief. Yeah.
Look, bro, I know you signed a contract and you have to do this every day,
I
and
signed
you're
a contract
miserable.
with who?
Yes, I know you're miserable, and I
Who
know
did I
you
sign a
regret
contract with?
signing the deal with the devil. Now you
What?
and your wife have to do this forcefully. I know it's forcefully,
You think
and
Satan is
Oh,
forcing
my
us to do
word.
this?
I know you're sick.
Ain't no way.
He changes up all the time. Comes up, starts good, and then he just starts changing.
Who's that?
I don't know, but I recognize his voice. Not in bringing you back up, bro. You got to come up. If you come up and repeat the same thing that you just said, you're going to get kicked. If you come up with an actual justification, I'm more than happy to have a conversation. Fair? All right, man. What's your justification for atheism?
Knowledge,
Knowledge. Okay. How is knowledge a justification for atheism?
because it is justified. It is true belief.
They think they're smart. Hello. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 20 and I'm doing good.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
So I'm not. I think I'm agnostic. I think
Okay.
that's what I would describe myself as. Are you not interested in that conversation?
Well, yeah, agnosticism is just like kind of the default.
You think it's a default.
You
So
don't you don't
what
really
led
need a
you
justification for agnosticism.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What led you to your belief, though? If you don't mind my asking.
I do mind you asking.
My bad.
No, you're good.
His
All right,
testimony's on.
have a good one,
He's got
man.
videos on it.
All right, God bless, man.
Jeez, baby. Please tell him where to look.
Testimonies on my YouTube. I was like, this guy's such a douche.
Well, he was nice.
He was nice, yeah. He was.
Uh,
He was a nice guy. My bad. Guys, smash like button, share the live.
Because John is scared today.
I'm scared.
He's on edge.
I'm on edge. I'm still scared. I am actually genuinely still scared. I wish that wasn't true, but I am. I'm here looking in the corner and just seeing Abby's head there, and I'm like, is she gonna creepily smile at me any second here? Is she gonna do it? Liquid nitrogen. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Oh, I'm 34. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a point about.
Yeah, that's obvious troll. It's obvious troll. Religious people and atheists are dorks. I've never seen that conjunct ever.
Who's left?
Who's left? That's it. Who you got more? Bert, get out of here. Code 19. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I am 19.
All right, what is your justification for Islam or atheism?
19 is the divine number given us by God. Wherever you see 19, you see God.
You got me.
Don't you see?
That's a good point. That's a good point. You got me.
19 is auto win. Don't you see?
I don't know what to do now. We're cooked. We're cooked, ladies and gentlemen. It's
Have
over.
a good one, John. Great debate. Have a good one, man.
Have a good one. We're cooked, ladies and gentlemen. We're cooked. All hail number 19. Wobe 19. If you're gonna troll, you gotta come up locked in, because I'm most likely gonna get annoyed and kick you. So that was a good one. But that was a good one. And it's gotta be new. You can't, like, if everybody comes up and does the 19 thing, yeah, it's gonna be a bit much. All right, guys, smash the like button, share live, do the things that you need to do. 19 farts. If I ever have a code 19 debate again, I'm just gonna have 1,000,001 mathematical things that I find, numerology things, and just say these are all from God. These are all from God. Yes, I'm a Christian. Bro, we know you're a troll. Get out of here. Why the heck is my mouth so sensitive all of a sudden? There you go. We're gonna have 19 kids now. I hope that's oof.
Oh.
Slow down. Slow down.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, 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 whoa. If the song 16 shots was 19 shots, it'd be from Allah. Allah. Everything's divisible by 1. Just remember that, guys. Anytime anybody brings the number 19, oh, you see, it's divisible by 19. Oh, it's also divisible by 1. 1. And remember, Allah is 1, and everything is divisible by 1. So therefore, 1. Numerology is awful. I even hate Christians that do numerology. I really do think it's like the worst epistemic standard for like proof. Oh, you see, how would they know these crazy math equations? Dog, the only people we've ever seen do math are humans. Abby laughing her ass off when she's going to bed that night. She's laughing so hard. He couldn't do complex mathematics into the thousands, John. He couldn't do complex mathematics into the... How did he do math into the thousands?
I was a little sleepy.
How did he divide 19 by 1,000? Or other way around. 1,000 by 19? How did he do it? Without a calculator, for God's sakes. Didn't have a calculator. Division into it's crazy mathematics. Bruh. 19th is the 19th number in natural numbers. Show me any other natural number from anywhere that is the 19th that doesn't show 19. What? Code 2319? Yeah, no, they did have these things, right? Yeah, they're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, where's our guests? Where's our guests? Do we have to throw more money at TikTok? The 19th Amendment gave women the constitutional right to vote in the United States. Therefore, it's from God. Therefore, it's from God. Oh, yeah, I got to do that stupid thing. I hate how I have to black out the chat for TikTok. That's really annoying. I mean, I could put... No, because then it'd just go off screen. Just go off screen. And whatever. TikTok gets horrible video quality because it treat me terribly anyways. Treat me terribly. Oh, yeah, we had someone in the queue, but then they left. Why are you scared, bro? Looking for that justification. What's your justification for loving 2 foreign men at the same time? They were cute. They were cute. That's my justification. What's your justification for it? I mean, that's pretty much everybody's justification, isn't it? Go raid someone? No, we're not doing raids. Get out of here. Raids will be set aside for Tuesdays or Thursdays. Raids will be set aside for that. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm good. I'm 27 and I'm Muslim.
All right, man. What's your justification for Islam or atheism?
So the justification for my belief would be a better way to put it, because the truth doesn't need justification. But the justification for my belief that Islam is the truth, one, is to...
Wait. The truth doesn't need justification, but the justification for the truth is...
It doesn't need justification.
But then you're going to give it?
I'm going to give my belief on what is the truth. That's what I'm going to justify.
Why don't you think truth needs a justification?
Because regardless of anybody, because if anybody buys the justification, is going to be there or not. It's going to remain the truth infinitely. It doesn't need...
But for you to even know it's true, how do you do it without a justification?
One can buy the truth. They can understand that it is the truth, or they can deny it. The truth is mubin, is clear, is manifest, and straightforward.
Yeah, but how do you know it's true without a justification?
It's right in front of you. If it's
right in front of you, that'd be a justification because you can see it. Is the truth physically in front of you? Can you show it to me?
Like I said, it's mubin, it's clear. So it's no justification for what's clear.
What do you think a justification is?
An explanation.
Okay, so you're saying the truth doesn't require explanation?
No, because sensory observation can see the truth. but people would deny it. What
that
are we
would be
gonna try to?
that would be an explanation.
No, no.
Yeah, you can explain
Somebody,
it because you can see it, right? So like the reason I know I have a cat is because I can see my cat. That's justification that I have a cat.
you can explain it to somebody who already accepts it, and then you can explain it later after they accept it. But if they don't accept it, then we're not gonna explain things to somebody who doesn't see what's right clear in front of them. No, I'm not gonna do that. This is a madman.
I'm asking you what your justification is.
Yeah, for my belief, I'm gonna get into it.
Okay, so you do need a justification.
For my belief in the truth.
Yeah.
Because I'm not just gonna say, of course, I believe Islam is the truth, but I'm not just gonna say, yeah, Islam is the truth. That just like that to you. For Muslim, yes, because he already accepted. We'll get into it. But my belief is a whole nother.
Wait. So, do you or do you not need a justification?
Man, we're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna give you my justification why Islam is the truth.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. One, out of all the religions that declare that there is one God, and one true God, Islam has the highest, most befitting description of that God.
Okay. How do you find out what is most befitting of God?
God is, by the secular definition in the dictionary to start off with, he's the supreme being. Supreme, he's the most highest, the strongest, the one with the most authority.
The dictionary? So because the dictionary says he's the most highest, that's also not what the dictionary says. But even if it did, that would be evidence that that is what's befitting of God because the dictionary says so?
To start off with.
Why is the dictionary an authority of God's nature?
It's like I said, it's secular. So before we get into religious stuff, we're going to build off of our baseline understanding of anything, which is going to come from our secular.
Why does the dictionary have any knowledge of what befits God? How did the dictionary get that knowledge?
The dictionary is it's just the meaning of words in the dictionary. So when I say the dictionary, it's just like that's just what's written down. But
sure. So then I have to go back. How do you know what descriptions befit God?
Well, okay, you know what? Let me ask you. All right.
Nope.
See, so we could get on the common ground.
No.
What is a God?
Nope. You're not going to use you're not going to use my hard work of study for your argument.
Well, I told you my hard work and you declined it.
You said the dictionary. You said the dictionary.
Okay, hard work. Well, I got to be a Harvard graduate to give you a definition of a God.
We're not talking about the definition of God. We're talking about what befits the description of God.
Okay. What befits a description of God, because we're using words. God is a explanation. So I'm giving you the explanation. He's a supreme being, a God. The God is the supreme being.
Yeah. So God is a supreme being. And you said the Quran best has the best descriptions that befits him. How do you know what befits him? Bert, get.
Well, there's that's going to be whatever befits the word sovereign and supreme and highest in authority, right?
Not sure. How do you know which descriptions befit God?
That's going to be the descriptions that align with what's the definition of a God, such as supreme. Whatever explanation fits supreme and is consistent with
supreme. You're just using a tautology. We already agreed the definition of this God is like the supreme being. So you're just saying the same thing over. So you're just saying whatever words befits God befits God. That's all you're saying. So again, how do you know which befits God?
You asked the same question twice. Yes, because off of the definition that he is a supreme being.
Yeah.
So the definition of God is going to
Okay.
befit God, right?
Have you ever gone to Taco Bell and got the supreme taco?
And this doesn't befit the word supreme. But I never got that. I don't.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man, is these words only mean something as insofar as they have a referent, something to relate towards. So we have this supreme being, this highest thing, right? You say the Quran best describes him. How do you know that?
It's in the Quran. We read it. Remember when I told you the truth is mubin, is clear? We read it in the Quran.
I know. I said when you read, the question I asked you is when you read the Quran and it gives you the descriptions, how do you know those are the best descriptions? And you said because it's in the Quran.
No, I'm saying it from one way. You're saying, how do I know that it says that? So I'm saying, yeah, it's in the Quran, but you're talking about it. You're coming at it from a different point of view. You're saying, how do I know it matches that description?
No, I'm asking, how do you know the Quran has the best descriptions? That's the question I'm asking you. And you said because it's in the Quran.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In comparison to what's in the Bible and what's in the Torah in the New Testament, if you have one God who dies and the other one never has died and he cannot die because he's over everything and he's ever living, then we're going to declare that the God of the Quran is higher than the other one because this guy's
and why
dying. Well, dying is a form of, it contradicts being ever living, one. So that's a problem. If you declare that your God is ever living, then he's going around dying.
And we also don't say ever living, we say eternal.
So he's not the God of, you wouldn't describe him, he wouldn't fit into the description of ever living, the God of Christianity?
Depends on what the word living means. But if we're talking about the strictest scientific sense of what the word living means, then no, we would say eternal.
Right. So in that case, while the God of Christianity cannot maintain the attribute of ever living.
Yeah. Okay. But again, let's say Christianity's got it wrong. Judaism's got every other one of these religions got it wrong. Again, how do you know the Quran has accurate descriptions?
Well, what do you mean accurate? Meaning that it's the truth?
That is the most befitting. How do you know? It could be equally as wrong. It's not the case that Christianity false, therefore Islam true. That's not how it works.
So there's when you read the Quran, there's no deficiency that you can find in God. What others, whether it coming from for examples in Christianity, him or Judaism, God
You're
being
just giving me the
exhausted.
descriptors. That's not the question I'm asking you. I'm asking how you know those descriptors are the most befitting.
Because they're consistent with the fact that he is, with the description of being supreme, without deficiencies, without any imperfections.
Consistency doesn't mean truth, right? Harry Potter is pretty consistent.
That's not what you asked. You asked, how do I know it's accurate?
Yeah, that's what truth is.
Okay. And if one is consistent with their claim, I have no angle to say that it's false. If they say that,
okay, so you think Harry Potter is true? Because Harry Potter is consistent.
It's known to be it doesn't claim to be the truth, so it's not analogy, it's not congruent to you. They claim it's a fantasy.
There's a
so
supreme
they have nothing
pizza,
to be.
and by guests' standard, a large pizza from Papa John's can be considered God. Pizza is greatest.
Okay. Show me one line in Harry Potter that says it's fiction.
The author understands it's fiction. The purpose of it is fiction.
Show me one line from the author where the author says it's fiction.
It's not going to be in the book. Now you're just trolling now, bro.
I'm not trolling.
It's categorized as a fiction.
I categorize the Quran as fiction.
You hold no weight and have no authority in that matter. You're not the author. The author of Harry Potter wrote it with the purpose of it being a fictionary tale.
How do you know that?
So you can look it up. You have a computer right next to you. Go ahead and look it up like you did the other stuff.
How do you know that? It's your arguments.
I've gained this knowledge in the past.
I've gained this. I'm just supposed to take your word for it? Dap you up?
You asked
Just
me.
trust you?
Why not? I mean,
because you're
like I
supposed to be
said, you
giving me
can-
a justification. And your justification for, hold on, this is your argument so far. Your justification for the Quran being true is it's consistent. But the reason that Harry Potter isn't true, even though it's consistent, is because they don't claim it's true. So all I have to do to debunk your entire religion is I have to write on a piece of paper a little bit about God, say that he's the most greatest thing ever, say I'm a prophet, and say this is true. And as long as it's consistent, you'd have to believe it.
Do that, and you will get nowhere.
That's not.
And
I'm just saying, if you were consistent, you would have to believe it.
I mean, over 23 years, if you do this over a matter of 23 years, you make consistent claims, you come with many revelation, and in over
Notice how
23
you keep
years, you have
changing
not-
the standard. So what is the standard? Every time I debunk your standard, you get a new standard. Just give me the standard that proves that it's from God, or we have any justification to believe that that has most befitting of His Majesty.
You haven't done. I came with one big point here, was that the God of the Quran is the strongest out of all the religions. You have not debunked that. You can debunk it because
I can debunk it right now.
He was nailed to a stake. This is a regular human being. So how?
Hold on. I got you.
Just to remember, you're supposed to be debunking that the God of Islam is the strongest out of all.
It takes a second. There it is. All right. So Gliblagorp is stronger than Allah. This is true. I just debunked it.
Is that from Christianity?
No, it's from me right now.
Oh, well, we're not debunking what you just journaled down in your.
Yeah, I debunked it because the way that you're debunking all the other religions is your Quran says that he's stronger than all these other gods. So
yeah, what's the name of this religion that
you haven't proved it?
Well, what's the attributes of I
don't need to give attributes. I'm giving you your standard. As long as the book is consistent and says it's true. This is consistent and says it's true.
No, it's consistent with what? It's making one sentence. What's consistent
that's pretty consistent.
When it's grammatically incorrect as well. So
what are you talking about? It's grammatically correct.
Listen, you folded here, man. You folded. One sentence? Nothing can be consistent with one sentence.
Yes, it can. That is the definition of consistent, is unchanging. I could write it in two sentences if you want.
You're just trolling. Yeah. Expand on it. Give me some attributes of Gibberglob.
Very true. There you go. Now it's two sentences and it's very consistent.
Okay, so Gibberglob is higher than your God then?
Yeah, Gliblagorp by this definition would be stronger. Yeah.
That's sad, man. You cooked yourself. But I was focusing on the Abrahamic religions though, because this holds no weight to me.
How the hell did I cook myself?
Well, you just said that Gibberglob is stronger than you. Stronger than Jesus.
Yes, if we hold to your justifications, he would be, yeah. But we don't hold to your justifications.
Nah, that's not according to my justification.
It literally is.
We're going to go Abraham.
You said as long as it's consistent and makes a claim and that God is the strongest, then it's got to be true. That was your argument.
Yeah, consistent implies over amount of time. You can't.
That was an amount of time. How much time specifically?
No, 5 seconds is not enough.
How much time specifically?
Consistent with anything.
How much time specifically?
A reasonable amount of time.
How much is a reasonable amount of time?
Would you agree 5 seconds is reasonable to
sure,
declare something
it's
that's
reasonable. Yeah, it's reasonable. Why am I wrong?
Your intellect
He's
is
been voted off the island.
Get out of here. They just keep changing. Oh yeah,
Um,
no, let's add in a new thing, a new thing, a new thing. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 73.
All right, what is your justification for Islam or atheism?
73. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's your justification for Islam or atheism?
Okay, I believe, even though I've been a Christian. I'm sorry, ask again.
And she's delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to accidentally be rude to my elders, so I'm going to move on. Mm-hmm. Any Muslims here? I have a serious question. If you answered properly, I will become a Muslim. John, what's my justification for Islam or atheism? What? I don't.
Why are you
believe
clicking
in it.
these? Oh
It
no,
was an
it's not.
accident.
It's not a question.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You're right. You're right.
They're quoting you.
You're right. Christians like to imagine whatever they can to prove their pagan God. Why don't you come up and prove whatever it is that you believe? We'll see if you just use your imagination too. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello.
Hello? Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 40.
All right, let me bring you in, man. All right, what is your justification for Islam or atheism?
Is it Islam and atheism or God and atheism?
What is justification for Islam or atheism?
I'll go for Islam.
Okay.
I mean, in my experience, it was just a personal experience, so I can't really convince you with it.
And what was that personal experience?
I've actually went through a lot of hard times in my life, and then I've managed to see a superpower or like a supernatural, impacts in my life.
Yeah, like what?
And that led me to. I mean, I was just trying to get to a different point where my own experience doesn't really necessarily serve the purpose here.
Yeah, so what was the
But I
justification, my
believe
friend? You're kind of dancing around it. You said it was a personal, miraculous thing. What was the
not really,
miraculous
not
thing?
really. Not really. Like it's just like something from my point of view that was miraculous to me.
Yeah, what was it?
Like I don't think if I it's a lot. It's a lot of things. However, I'm
Okay,
not
so why did
against
you come
atheism
up if you don't want to give me your
because I have.
justification?
I'm not trying to avoid the question. I'm just trying to say that like atheism in itself is also part of my experience because I had to
Okay, so the topic today
forget
is
all
what is your
about.
justification? You said your justification is the miracle, but you don't want to tell me the miracle. So do you have a different justification?
I mean, the miracle itself, like after having read a lot of the holy books, come to see that they all agree on the same thing. Meanwhile, everyone else is like fighting against each other, like Christians against Muslims, Muslims against Jews.
How's that a
and
miracle?
Jews against. I mean, the idea that they all never read each other's book while it's available.
I've read all of them.
It just Yes, and
Yeah, they don't
and
agree.
when you look at, they kind of agree in the
No,
teachings.
not really. So
No,
again,
they
how's that a
None of the
miracle?
books would tell you. Because how come 8 billion people, let's say 4 billion people, do believe in a God, and they have these books available, and these books are promoting people to do something better with their
How
life?
is this a miracle,
And
bro? How is it a miracle
it
that
is a
you read the
miracle.
books and you think they agree? How's that a miracle?
No, I'm not talking about my personal miracles. I'm
That's what
talking
you
about
said
like,
convinced you. That's what you said the justification was.
no, that was like a later stage. That was a later stage that I could use to, for example, talk to you about, but not about myself.
So what's the justification?
About the existence of a God
Oh my God.
or
Goodbye.
Islam.
I've got questions. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, can you hear me? I'm over 18.
What? How old are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How old are you?
Oh, okay. I'm over 50.
How old are you?
Do I have to give my exact age?
No one can hear. I'm the only person who can hear you.
Oh, so do I have to give my
Oh my God.
exact
God
age
bless.
to you?
Have a great day. Well, I mean, Abby could hear you too.
Oh, bless you, Bert. That was a big sneeze.
Was a big sneeze. Oh, I guess YouTube
Oh,
could
they
hear him.
could.
My bad. I forgot. That
It
only
didn't matter. He wasn't.
that only turns it off for people on TikTok. That
He
was my bad.
wasn't.
I mean, who like just say a number,
say
bro.
it
Everybody,
anyway.
do I have to just give me like how am I gonna? I'm not gonna check your ID. It's just like, but it just shows like if you want to dance around how old you are, it's just kind of like a red flag of how the conversation's.
Well, honestly, it's just annoying. It's just so ridiculous.
Just annoying.
Like, how am I? Your name is just asking questions, and you think I'm gonna find out who you are and where you live based off how old you are?
Well, I'm
Like you're the
I'm
only 32-year-old out there.
51. He's gonna find me. He's gonna find me.
Yeah, you could just make it up.
Yeah.
Like we don't.
I'm not checking your ID.
Yeah.
Everyone in the chat, tell me how old you are. Everyone in the chat. I want to know. I want to know. Everyone says 19.
Either way.
There you go. Everyone's saying their age. 28, 29, 40, 42, 31, 39, 67. Wow. Welcome. 60, 24, 19.
Jeez.
What? I just a little shocked. 67 on TikTok watching my content. I appreciate it. I must be doing something right in my life. Could be a meme. Yeah. In my 50s, 16, 55, 53. Wow. 104. I don't believe you, bro. 47, 34. Hey, well, I can see my demographic. My demographic is middle-aged men. And some women, I guess. Some women. We found my demographic. Crotchety, middle-aged old men. You tell me your justification. How do you know we're all men? Because it tells me. It tells me like 75% of my viewership is men. So for a long while, when I was super Protestant-y, when I was like that, it was mostly women. It was mostly women.
I wonder why. You're so handsome.
Hi, Than or Tim. I'm not too sure which one you are this time. One or the other. One or the other. What if you're a transformer? You're still one or the other, bro. Still one or the other. Old enough to not believe in silly fairy tales. Great. Why don't you come up and give me your justification why you don't believe in silly fairy tales? Give me your reasoning. Give me your logic behind it. Let's see how you came to your conclusion outside of, well, I don't believe in Santa Claus, therefore. Let's see. Let's see. Here comes a lawnmower. Thank God we put on that new feature. You guys can you guys hear it?
No, I think they said last time they couldn't.
We got the window open this time, though. What is the link on the screen? It's the link to join. Multiple ways to join. It's always going to be Than, LOL. I don't think Tim will come on this account to connect with people. He has before, has he not? Pretty sure he
He
has.
did on the TikTok account.
In the Inspiring Philosophy account. Yeah. Yeah, he came up on that account. The IP account. We could always treat it as like some sort of like quantum mechanics. It's either Than or Tim, and we have to say it's Than and Tim at the same time until we observe it. And once we observe it, then that's actually what puts it into its place. But until we observe it, it is both simultaneously Than and Tim. So yes, always on the TikTok account, not on YT. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, guys, smash the like button, share live, do the things you need to do. All of a sudden, I think it's Than. I think he's the jinx because we had a whole bunch of guests and then Than came in and now we have no guests. Now we have no guests. So he's probably a jinx. Y'all, all religions are equal and none are better than others. Can you come up and convince me of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Weren't you just up?
Yes. Sorry, my bad.
What's your justification for Islam?
I'm gonna talk about God, not Islam.
Oh my goodness. Then you've clearly showed me you do not know how to read. Bare minimum, man. Bare minimum. Like if you want to come up and have a conversation, the bare minimum is you have to know how to read. The topic is this. If you come up and try to do a different topic, I don't care if we have no guests. You're gonna get yeeted. You're gonna get yeeted. You'd have more guests if it was an AMA. Absolutely right. When we do AMAs, we have a lot of guests. And we also have a lot of people trying to set traps with questions using the Socratic method, even though that's not what the Socratic method is for. And trust me, I literally have the book on it, which I only bought the book to say this. So when people are like, that is, I can say, no, it is not. And then pull out the book. I have the book on it. It's in the living room. Yeah, they set traps, and then it also leads to a lot of infighting where people come up as a Christian and they want to like, oh, I'm just going to ask some questions about Christianity, but they're really trying to figure out what your denomination is and try to disprove your denomination. Than and or Tim, did you do the fusion dance? That's something they would do. I could see the two of them in Than's basement, literally practicing and choreographing the fusion dance. I could see that. Just so they can get on stage and do it one day, and like then Than can do his geeky little laugh once they do it, and we could all just cringe at the two of them. And Tim would be like, Tim would do it, but then Tim would realize after he did it how cringe it was. But then would just be giggling because he doesn't care. I could see it in my head right now. I could see it. Tell me I'm wrong, Than. Tell me I'm wrong. Wow, I really am. I really should start my own religion. The amount of things I predict. All right, guys, come on. What is your justification for Islam or atheism? We got to have a single person out there who's willing to have that conversation. Just one. There's billions of people in the world. There's got to be one out there who wants to talk to me about that. Okay, Abby.
Yeah.
The radical person who just called me a P3DO, you can ban them.
I think
in the shorts chat. Unless they were talking about somebody else.
I got him.
There is no one in the requests.
I don't know. I don't know who they're talking to.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hi, this is me again. Sorry, I didn't understand the question at the beginning. So let's start all over again.
What is your justification for Islam?
For Islam. So Islam, as a definition, it means submission.
Oh my gosh.
They're calling somebody else that, but still not cool.
Well, was that person saying P3DO things?
No.
Okay. A lot more is loud. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 39. I'm good. You
Hi,
good?
man. Yeah, I'm good. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
Right. Atheism is kind of the default state. Babies are atheists. You have to be taught theism, so no justification needed. And I wouldn't conflate Islam and atheism. One's an organized religion that subscribes to theism, and one is atheism.
Hold on. So it's the default state. Are they born believing that mathematics is true?
No, obviously.
Obviously not, right? So just because it's the default state isn't a justification for truth, right?
Well, no, they don't. That's what I'm saying. You don't need justification to be atheist. It just is.
What?
You don't need justification to be an atheist. It just is.
So if somebody grew up and was never
Atheism
taught,
just
hold on. If somebody grew up and was never taught mathematics, they'd be justified to say that all math is false?
No.
Okay.
Obviously not, but it's
Great.
just two different schools of thought, isn't it?
It's
you can
still
practice math and see the results of math. You can't practice theism and see the results of theism.
well. Okay, how do you know that?
You could pray to God right now and ask him for a double cheeseburger for me. I promise it's not going to land on my lap.
Yeah. Again, that's not what we believe. So, what's your justification for atheism?
I don't. No, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be a justification. It just is.
So you don't. So you're openly admitting that there is no justification for atheism.
I'm saying that it doesn't need justification.
That's the tautology. There is if it doesn't need it. Hold on. Hold on. I'm still talking. So the tautology there is that if it doesn't need a justification, then it doesn't have a justification. Is that correct?
No. Obviously, you can justify atheism through, I don't know, theists do all kinds of extreme things to one another, and people who are atheists, that's one.
How's that justification that atheism is true?
An atheist is not going to go out of his way to harm a theist.
Yeah, even if that,
an atheist
again,
would just try and talk you down.
even if that was true,
there.
how does that justify that the belief system is true? The doxastic attitude. Let's say, for example, there's a new religion that comes out called Glibloglorpism, and everybody who becomes a Glibloglorpist all of a sudden is the most selfless person in the world, and they just help each other all the time. Is that evidence that Glibloglorpism is true?
Well, it's not really a belief system. Like atheists, like babies, don't just sleep signal area.
You're not answering. You're also not answering the question. You're dodging it.
No, I'm literally. I can barely. Right. Sorry, I heard glipglorpism.
Yeah. I'll re-explain the question. That's no problem.
glipglorpism?
Yeah. So let's say a new religion comes out of the woodworks called Glibloglorpism, and everybody who submits to Glibloglorpism becomes the most selfless person in the world, and they're just the best people you could possibly imagine according to everybody's standard. Is that a justification for Glibloglorpism being true?
So we're renaming atheism as glipglorpism.
Nope. It's a new religion that has a deistic figure called Glibloglorp. Hello? 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 Going once. Going twice. God bless. Have yourself a wonderful day. All right, bro. You need to stop requesting up here. No means no. You're probably like, girls probably find you creepy if that's your attitude. I'm just saying, you say no once and they keep coming back. Who the heck is calling me at this time? Get out of here.
What's up?
Spam?
Hello. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Yeah, 23 years old. 23.
All right. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
Atheism. It is a way of personal freedom. It is the freedom from thinking about gods, thinking about religion, thinking about indoctrination.
You got to slow down. You got a thick accent and you're going too fast. I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh yeah. Freedom for personal beliefs. Freedom from thinking about gods. Freedom to whatever you want and not to think about any kind of, I don't know, moral kind of belief system.
Yeah, that's just your preference. What's the justification?
My justification is that, honestly, it's a pain in the ass. Because
again, that's another preference. What's the justification?
You want my personal justification?
No, I want an actual justification. Like a justification would lead to some sort of empirical reason to believe that a thing is true.
Sure. There's not actual evidence to justify the belief that God exists. And the fact that the Bible, a lot of people believe that
that'd be
blindly.
that'd be a good reason for agnosticism. What's the reason for atheism?
Sure. I think that the church is lying to us. The church only cares about money, and the fact that the Vatican, for example,
Yeah,
holds a lot of documents.
even if that was all true, it still wouldn't justify atheism.
Think about it. The Vatican holds a lot of documents that are not
Yeah, the
released to the
Vatican's the
public.
most evil corporation in the world. They eat babies for fun. It still wouldn't prove atheism.
So why do you want me to believe in a personal savior, even if we don't have all the documents of history? We don't have a lot of documents of history.
I'm not
So
trying to convince you of your personal savior. I'm here to ask you, what is your justification for atheism?
I will give you my own personal moral one, but I don't think you actually care about it.
That's correct. I do not care about your personal feelings.
So what the whole point of asking then?
I'm asking for a justification, a logical reason.
Don't you think that personal feelings is a logical reason?
Do I think what?
Don't you think that personal feelings is a logical reason, because a lot of people believe
Still
in
didn't
personal
hear this.
feelings?
A personal feelings what?
Don't you think that personal feelings and morality based on feelings is a logical reason for human beings to believe?
You keep doing it the exact same way. You're not trying to change it. I still don't know the second word that you're saying.
Jesus Christ, these people. Don't you think that
That's our God.
Don't you think that personal feelings play a huge role in building a person's morality about God?
Do I think that personal feelings play a role in what?
Morality?
In personal belief in God, a personal belief in Jesus Christ.
Your personal feelings is a basis. It's a thing that you start off with, an intuition that you build upon. That is not a justification. So it plays a role, but it is not a justification.
It is a justification of most people if you ask them.
It's not a justification. Just because they say it is doesn't mean it is.
What is your personal justification for believing in God?
I'm not talking about a personal, I'm talking about justification, and you're also shifting the burden.
Okay, I will give you my personal justification.
I don't want your personal justification. I want a justification.
The church is indoctrinating the masses into believing in a God because they want control over the population.
Okay, again, if that was true, still wouldn't be a justification for atheism.
And I'm out.
I don't know how people don't get it. You're still up here, I think, for some reason. Oh, there we go. Dan, by the way, if you're interested, you're more than welcome to come up. But you have to come up on TikTok. Because I don't have it set up right now for co-hosts. Subhuman, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 22.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
Oh, I was actually thinking that I was debating Christianity with you. I'm Roman Catholic.
Why did you think that? Atheist, hello, how are you? How old are you? How are you and how old are you?
I'm 22.
Hello? All right, God bless. Yeah, sure. Come on up, bro. Whenever you're ready. We'll be here for some hours yet.
That's for Than.
That is for Than, yes.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
18.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
I think there's no convincing evidence of a God.
Great.
Therefore, being
that's a
atheist
great.
makes sense.
Yep, that'd be a great reason for agnosticism.
I mean, I guess I could say I'm agnostic, but I'm like 99%, in the other direction from you.
Okay, so what's the justification for atheism?
Well, first of all, I don't believe in
just one
the
second.
all-loving.
Yes, on TikTok, please. Yeah.
The all-loving aspect of God.
Okay, that's still not a justification for atheism.
I mean, it's a justification for not believing in a creator, which means I wouldn't be religious.
Yeah, so again, if you're not convinced of the specific religions that are there, that'd be a good reason to claim ignorance, or I don't know. But it would not be a good reason to say that there is no. What is the justification for atheism?
I mean, if there's a lack of evidence, it's more like it just doesn't exist. Like no one would say they're agnostic about there being like, I don't know, invisible unicorns. Unless they were provided evidence that they might exist. But that's I could rationally rule that out.
So first of all, we can give an inductive argument towards unicorns, right? Looking at the history of unicorns, where the mythology came from, and concluding that's most likely fiction. We couldn't say with absolute that they didn't exist. Sure, that's fine. But yeah, if we're just talking about invisible beings that we're unaware of, assigning arbitrary names to it, to claim a doxastic attitude towards that would have to be agnostic.
But I mean, you could say you're agnostic, but there's not really a meaningful difference between like ruling that they don't exist compared to having.
I'm not talking about a personal belief system. I'm talking about a doxastic attitude. If you claim something doxastic towards it, the only thing that you could say about these invisible beings that cannot be measured, seen, or heard that we assign arbitrary names to would have to be agnosticism.
You could say that about anything. You could be agnostic about absolutely anything because you could adopt some like stupid, approach where you're like, what do we know is even real? Like, a stupid Descartes approach where you're like, oh, all technically we know is this. Like we could question everything. Like,
what did that have to do with anything that I just said?
Because you're drawing the line between being agnostic and saying, well, you might as well be agnostic. But I'm saying, well, for me, it's so unbelievable that I'm an atheist.
That's not how it works. I'm asking about, do you know what a doxastic attitude is?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so your actual claim towards the position, not your individual mental state. So is God real? Yes, no, or I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, so you're agnostic, not atheist.
I mean, I'd still say I'm an atheist.
Great, that's your personal belief. I'm talking about the doxastic attitude. So yes, no, or I don't know.
No.
He doesn't exist. Okay, what is your justification that he does not exist? Or she?
No evidence. And I don't believe in the all-loving, all-powerful nature of God, so,
Okay, so
I don't believe in him.
So 2,000 years ago, people were justified. They had actual good reason and good evidence to say that Pluto didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
2,000 years ago, they were justified to say that the Earth was flat.
No, I'll say this. I believe in a God, but I don't. I could be agnostic.
You do believe in a God.
No, I could be agnostic at the fact there might be a God, but I would rule out the God that a Christian believes in completely.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the Christian God. I'm talking about a positive claim towards atheism. And it seems like the only thing you guys have, the only thing anybody has in the world is arguments against Christianity.
So then in that case, yes, I would be agnostic that there might be some.
I appreciate you. All right, atheist. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you now. How old are you?
I'm in my early 30s.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
Oh, I'm an atheist.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd just say that naturalism is a better explanation for reality.
Okay. What's the argument for that?
It's simpler.
What's the argument for that?
So about parsimony, simplicity. So naturalism is a simpler explanation of God because it has less baggage.
If you're talking about simplicity, we're talking about unnecessary entities, not something that you find easier to understand. That's not what simplicity is.
No, the entity that's superfluous is consciousness, like God is conscious or it has a mind. So obviously naturalism doesn't involve intention. So it's simpler.
So what's your argument?
Yeah, it has one less entity than the God hypothesis.
How?
So I would define God as an eternal conscious creator.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So eternal, always existed, conscious, has a mind, has intention, judges and all that kind of thing. And then creator has the power to create. Do you agree with that?
I'm waiting for your argument. What's your argument?
No, I'm just saying, do you agree with that definition of God?
Yeah, I just say God is a being. I just say God is a being with unbound power. That's all I'd say.
You say that God always existed?
Yeah, God would always exist, sure.
And God has intentions.
My understanding of God, but that isn't the argument. That's my specific understanding of God, but that isn't an argument for atheism. For there could be a deistic type God that doesn't really have intention.
Well, awareness. I mean, like, what we associate with mind. So God would be aware, he intended to create, let's say, even if he doesn't
Yeah, again,
interact with
there could be
his
some sort
creation.
of deistic type God that doesn't fall into these categories. So I just say a being with unbound power.
But would you say that a deist God has the intention to create?
It could be the case that no. Could be just like a cause and effect of its nature.
So I believe in naturalism, and I think that's a simple explanation, right? So if God is an eternal conscious creator,
Mhm.
naturalism would just be an eternal creator without the consciousness.
What?
So using Occam's, naturalism would be an eternal creator without
Uh-huh.
consciousness. There's no intention, where God has
You're
intention.
actually adding an unnecessary entity there. The without consciousness. Why should we assume without consciousness?
Well, no, that's not an entity. That's a lack of an entity.
No, an entity is just like an hypothesis. You're adding the unnecessary entity there, right? Because we have consciousness. Consciousness exists. So you're actually adding a new proposition that there was a state without consciousness.
Yeah, I'm saying we're talking about the fundamental nature of reality. So I think naturalism better explains that. And obviously it doesn't have intention.
Okay, so first of all, what is the word natural doing here?
It's a mechanistic, unintended, unguided process.
So evolution
would be an example of it, yeah.
So naturalism is just anything that happens without intention? So like cause and effect?
Sure. Yeah, like a mechanism, yeah. Like
okay, well,
entropy.
what is the word mechanism doing then?
Yeah, so something that goes for an order of operation, goes from one state to another. Like God would
Well,
be
something can have a
but
mechanism
he
that
would just,
has like intent.
yeah, God would
Yeah.
be a mechanism too.
Yeah, so
But the
okay,
intent
so
the intent is the additional entity that
well,
makes
hold
it
on,
more
hold on. I'm just
complicated.
trying to figure out the word natural here. What's the word natural doing?
Mechanism without intention.
Mechanism without intention.
Right.
Okay, so anything that's a mechanism without intention, you think is adding unnecessary entity, because I could just say mechanism.
Yeah, so you would have to say that God is an intentional mechanism, and mine doesn't have intention, which makes yours have
That's
more
not an unnecessary. There's the same
metaphysical.
amount of entities. Entities aren't things that are just in the positive. Entities are the propositions that you include.
Yeah. So if you have to add like an entity to explain like the data, right? You have to add this entity of intention, whereas I don't
And
have
you're
to do
adding
that
this
with
entity of a
naturalism.
lack of intention.
No, that's a lack of a property. It's not a property. It's a
No,
lack of a property.
no. So again, entities aren't just things.
Like
And when we're
naturalism doesn't have
talking
goodness
about
either.
simplicity, entity aren't things that metaphysically exist. It's in the proposition themselves. So when you start removing things, like for example, you start saying it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have this. Those are propositions. Those are unnecessary entities that you're including.
No, they're lack of an entity. That's the point. Like naturalism, for instance, isn't omnibenevolent, right? It just doesn't have it.
So
whereas if
I
give
a proposition that has 7 or let's say 20 syllogisms, but they're all negative syllogisms, and then you give an argument that's 2 syllogisms that lead to a conclusion, but they're positive syllogisms, which syllogism has more entities?
the one that's positing.
No, it's just in the propositions. You have to have conclusions, right?
Well, I mean,
so
obviously, I'd say
unnecessary entities
obviously
are
I'd
the
say-
unnecessary conclusions that are added in. So you're not adding in or remove. You're actually we have the same amount of propositions here, right? You're saying some mechanism without consciousness, and I'm saying a mechanism with consciousness.
So let's say that you and I both agree that there's like a necessary being, something always existed, right? We're not going to give it any properties. We're just going to say it always existed, right? We can agree on that. And then we can say that the universe as we observe it is here. So whatever that is, it had the power to bring about the observable universe. So we can agree on that too.
Okay.
Right? Then you have to make an additional step and say that there's like this necessary entity had to have this thing called intention, has awareness, has the intention to create, judges.
Wait. So what is your? So you're saying that there is this being that is pure act, right? We agree on that. So what is your descriptive of this being?
Yes, I'm just saying you have to make an extra step to describe
No, no,
your
no.
necessary being.
We don't know if it's an extra
And I
step
don't
because
have,
we
I
don't know
don't,
your
I don't,
descriptives.
yeah, but all I've had to posit is that something always existed and it had the power to create the observable universe. I don't have to talk about intention, but you have to do that.
So what are your descriptives are this thing existed and it created the universe. And so your
Yeah,
appeal
it's
your
an
appeal to
eternal
atheism
creator.
is ignorance?
It's an eternal creator. That's the description of something
Uh-huh.
that always existed that could bring about the observable universe. That is what nature is. It's a mechanistic, unguided process. You can just think of it like energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed in a
But
closed system.
hold on,
Or just as,
you're dodging my questions, right? And you just keep running to I'm adding on unnecessary
well,
entities.
I'm just trying to explain what I mean
Hold on.
by my
Unnecessary
position.
entities only work, like your syllogism only works or your argument only works for simplicity if it actually explains anything, right? So for it to be simpler, it actually has to lead to a conclusion and explain something. You're stating that there is this necessary being that's pure act, but doesn't have intention, and you're saying that's enough. Well, then how do we get from the pure act to actualization without intention? And you're saying, well, mine's simpler, therefore it's true. That's not how that works.
Well, you would have to argue that the intention is necessary.
I'm not arguing a position. You're arguing a position. Remember, I'm taking the negative here. So you're stating we have this you're saying atheism is true because my argument is simple, right? And your argument is that we have this necessary being, right? That is pure act, and then it creates the universe. Those are the parts that we agree on. But you leave it there and you say mine is more simple, even though it has no explanatory power.
Well, no, it doesn't have an explanatory power. Where is it lacking in an explanatory power?
Yeah, how do you get from pure act to actualization without intent?
Yeah, so it's not necessary. You don't need. There's no logical contradiction with things happening mechanistically without intention.
Well, then it's not pure act if it's happening mechanistically without intention. Therefore, there's some sort of contingent properties inside of this being that has some sort of cause of effect. And we're not staying at a necessary being. We'd have to still keep going further back.
Well, I'm not quite sure what you mean by pure act. I don't know. Are you talking about like Thomism?
Well, you said there's a necessary being, right? We can't go any further back. So therefore, it has to be pure act because there's nothing causing an effect to it. There's no chain behind it.
What does that mean, pure act, by the way?
There's no potentiality in it.
There's no potentiality in it.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean for there to be no potentiality?
That there is some sort of change within itself that could be caused by something outside of it. Because it is the necessary being, there's nothing before it. Therefore, there could be no change outside of it or some outside of it that can cause change. So therefore, it has to be pure act. And you need some sort of explanation on how this necessary being creates the first thing after it. And you're just saying, I don't, therefore I'm simpler, therefore I'm right.
So what you mean by pure act is that the act of creation comes from within, like intrinsically, as part of its nature. Is that what you mean?
I'm just stating that there's no potentiality in it, because if there's potentiality, then we'd have to keep pushing the chain back.
Potentiality. I mean, I don't know if I'd use that language. I'd just say that the necessary being that I'm positing has the power to create, and it does. It brought about the observable universe.
Yeah, how does it?
Yes, I'm not making any assumptions.
Well, then you have no explanatory power. Therefore, your hypothesis doesn't work as being a simpler hypothesis because it has no explanatory power. You're actually positing mystery.
Well, no, I'm saying that I'm positing things that are not logical contradictions, right? So something can happen mechanistically. You mentioned evolution, so we have examples of things that happen mechanistically.
Right, but mechanistically is a causal chain, right? That's the argument for causal power. For something to happen mechanistically, I can't say it for some reason. For something to happen mechanically, something before it has to push it.
So I'm just saying that it comes from within. It doesn't have anything external to it, or that it needs.
Right. So then again, but then it still follows you're just saying it happens. That's not an explanation.
Well, it can happen either deterministically or randomly, like either or could be a possibility.
That still doesn't have an explanation. You're saying it could is not an explanation. Therefore, it's not a simpler hypothesis.
So let me give you an actual example then. So say like energy cannot be created or destroyed, right? You understand that, right? So if it cannot be created, it always existed. right? And the second law of thermodynamics, entropy, shows that it has the power to create. The observable universe is just part of its nature to be able to do that. So when I say it has the power to create,
that's fine. You're still positing mystery. The question still remains the causal power. You agreed that there's a necessary being at the beginning, something at the start. There needs some sort of explanation on how the something at the start creates the point one, right? Creates T1. So we have T0. There has to be some reason that T1 happens. You're giving no causal explanation for that and saying that your hypothesis is simpler.
Yeah, but your God would have the same problem. If you think that that's a problem, your God would have the same problem.
That would just be a two-coque fallacy.
No, but what I'm saying is you're positing a problem that's, I think, a pseudo problem. Because if it is a problem, if we grant it's a problem, I'm saying that God has to create.
It's still just a two-coque fallacy.
Yeah, but God has to create for a reason.
Yes, it's still a two-coque fallacy. You keep going to it, but it's still a fallacy. Your explanation doesn't, your hypothesis has no causal explanation. Your hypothesis has no explanation, has no explanatory power. So therefore, it's not the simpler hypothesis. Presenting a hypothesis or a syllogism or an argument that gets us nowhere does not mean it's simpler and true. That's not how that works. It has to get you somewhere.
Well, I'm just saying that we both already agreed that it has the power to create the observable universe. Whatever it is, it has the power because it obviously we're here, we're existing, right?
Right, but okay, so here's your argument though. We both agree on necessary being. We both agree that being has causal power, right? Could create the universe. I'm positing that the reason that causal power creates the universe is because of intent, right? Because this being has some sort of mind. You are removing the intent, right? And just saying that we have a necessary being with causal power, but you give no explanation how this being with causal power starts to create the universe. And then you're saying that you're more likely to be true, even though you have no explanation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're doing it's not really a two-quoque because I'm just comparing the non-God hypothesis with the God hypothesis that has this extra entity of intention.
But
and then we're comparing.
My God, I don't know how you're not getting this. It's not one less entity if you do not have any sort of explanation, right? I could simply say the explanation for everything is blah.
I do have an explanation.
Hold on. I could say the explanation for everything is blah. It's got the fewest amount of entities, blah. So therefore it's true.
Yeah, but we haven't even got into why God would want to create, because then
that's irrelevant.
That would be the same.
It's irrelevant to what I'm talking about, bro. I don't know how you're not clicking on this. A hypothesis that doesn't have any sort of explanation or conclusion to it is not right because it's simpler than a hypothesis that does.
So where I'm saying that you do have an additional entity is that your concept is an eternal conscious creator. Mine is just an eternal creator without the consciousness. The consciousness is the additional entity.
But your eternal creator that's not conscious has no explanation on how it starts T1.
The explanation is it has the power to create.
Having the power does not mean it does. For example, I have the power to do a backflip. I probably never will. Right?
Yeah,
so possessing the power does not mean that it starts T1. You have zero explanation for T1.
Yeah, the clouds have a potential to rain. Like things have potential. So whatever's
and there's explanations on how clouds rain, right? When it gets too heavy, it can no longer contain, it opens up and falls out. Right? There's an explanation towards that. You have no explanation how we get from causal power to T1, and then you're saying you're right because it's simpler.
Okay, so I could just give you an example. I gave you energy. Quantum fields is another example of something that is mechanistic, right? It can bring about the observable universe, virtual particles popping into existence, right? Fields don't require it, like they can just be the necessary being, and they just have this nature.
Go ahead, Sam. Maybe you can get it through.
I was just gonna say he's very quiet on my end, so like the only thing I've really been able to hear is you getting a little frustrated with him. And I'm trying to make out the conversation based off your responses. Is there a way you can raise his volume for me? Yeah, thank you.
Can I be heard?
Can you hear him now?
Can I be heard?
A little bit more.
Am I audible?
How's that?
Talk now. Hello?
Can you hear Than? Atheist, you still there?
I'm still here. Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear Than?
Can I hear a fan?
Hello, hello, hello.
Than, can you hear my
Oh.
buddy Than?
Oh, sorry, fan. I can hear. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Now I can actually hear the conversation.
Okay. Dan, do you want to jump in?
I don't know where. I
Well,
was
I have
just.
no clue
I
where
don't
you
know.
guys actually are, to be honest with you.
So I was just saying that, like, I was trying to give an example of something that is tangible that you could understand. So quantum fields are something that permeate the whole universe, right? They could be the candidate for the necessary being. I'm not saying it is, but it's just a way to illustrate what I've been saying all along.
Sure.
Is that you can have something that always existed and has the power to bring about the
Okay,
observable universe,
but now,
like quantum
okay,
fluctuation.
yeah.
Quantum
Well, I'm gonna pause. I'm
fluctuations.
gonna pause you because now,
Okay.
it's not. You have a simpler explanation because now you've added in the quantum fields, right? So therefore, if you're trying to use simplicity, we have the same amount of entities.
No, you don't. You have an additional entity.
So
intention.
there's gonna be a few.
being.
There's gonna be a few problems here.
Quantum
Actually,
fields are not intentional.
yeah. There's gonna be a few problems here because you're gonna have to stipulate two different types of simplicity. There's gonna be quantitative simplicity, so how many things are there, and then there's gonna be qualitative simplicity, so how many kinds of things are there. Are you with me so far?
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So, for instance, when we posit God, we have one entity, and I don't know if John and I agree on this, but I would argue we have one entity with one property.
So,
right?
Than, let me catch you up. We all agree that there's some sort of necessary being with causal power. That's where we all say.
We do. Yep.
Right. So that's just going to come. So then basically at the end of the day, it's going to come down to two things: who has the simpler theory and who has the theory that accounts for all of the data. So when I say all of the data, I'm going to say the totality of reality aside from this necessary thing.
Sure.
Right?
I can agree to that.
So when we ask the question, why do we live? Why is reality such that it is, right? Like, why do we live in a universe where it's this universe instead of a universe with a bunch of blue balls, right? I always say blue balls. I need to say something else other than blue balls, don't I? But yeah, right. It's like I can conceive of a blue ball universe. Why do we live in this universe instead of a blue ball universe, right? Theism, God's existence, is going to have the explanatory resources, right, to tell us why this universe is the way it is. A quantum fluctuation, for instance, isn't going to predict that, right? Like, you could have, what is a quantum fluctuation going to predict? It's going to predict a lot of different types of universes, but on top of that, quantum fluctuations are going to presuppose some sort of laws as well, right? So you're not just positing some sort of quantum field, you're also positing the laws that the quantum field has to abide by. And you're going to have to also posit a bunch of brute facts about the arbitrary limits for these quantum fields. For instance, like the drift and the spin and all these other things. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, like, if you're just appealing to our imagination and the ability to imagine all these alternative counterfactuals, like, that's just a product. That's just like an entailment of being able to imagine. Like, we can imagine that we, the universe existed 5 minutes ago, and all of our memories have been created, and this conversation was implanted. Like, we could use our imagination to do anything.
Well,
so
I'm talking about possible. I'm just talking about possible worlds.
So let me just, sorry, Than. Let me just land. So all I'm saying is I'm trying to make as least assumptions as I can, right? And as long as there's no logical contradiction, right?
But
we're good.
your assumptions don't lead to conclusions. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I think they do. I think that they do.
But all you got is necessary being with causal power. You have no explanation for anything else.
Yeah, that's it. That's all
okay.
you need.
God bless.
So
that is that.
We're going full circle. I can't do that again.
Are you? It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
All my blood's in my muscles right now. So
I thought you were going to say something else because of the blue balls.
No,
Barry.
I do need to think of a better my muscles right now. So.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
32.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
Okay, so with Islam, couldn't give half a crap about that. When you say justification for, just so we're on the same page, what exactly do you mean?
Yeah, some sort of empirical reason to hold something to be true.
Okay. So with atheism, I see this a lot from people, from particularly, Christians. Y'all tend to debate the wrong definition of atheism.
Yeah,
Whenever
you want to go, okay, just watch this. Yeah, I'm not interested in your mental state towards like a lack of belief. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a doxastic attitude. Hold on. Nope. I've heard this a million times. I'm going to finish and then you're going to answer or you're going to move on. So we're talking specifically about a doxastic attitude. Does God exist? Yes, no, or I don't know. And then your justification for one of those three positions. Go ahead.
Do not get upset with people interrupting you if you're going to do it to them.
I can do what I want. It's my channel. I can cry if I want to.
Well, you're certainly doing a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. So, does God exist? Yes, no, or I don't know.
Simple. For me, I don't know.
Okay, that's
I do not have
agnosticism.
belief.
Appreciate you. Muslim. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Certainly doing a lot of that. Yeah.
Hello.
So, does God exist? Yes.
You got to
no,
turn
or-
me off in the background, bro.
Simple. For me, I don't know. Okay, that's I do not have.
You got to turn me off in the background, bro. Mute the YouTube video.
Muslim. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello. I'm 18.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, if you're going to come up with a lack theism
blame Little
argument, you're
John.
not going to be up here long. Did you turn me
Hello?
off? Did you turn me off in the background, bro?
Yes, I did. Yes.
All right, man. How old are you?
I'm 18.
All right. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
So I'm not atheist. I'm Muslim, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I have several reasons. Can I go through them one by one? So start, and then I guess you could just refute me if you want.
Okay.
All right. So I would say my first one is that Islam creates the best civilizations, not best.
Okay.
But
So how do you? Okay.
strongest.
Let's stop there.
All
How
right.
do you know it's the best civilization?
I mean, I think if you study history, if you study maybe integration of of populations from different races.
Well, let's give an example here, right? So Islamic
Yeah.
countries are notoriously high in cousin marriage. Cousin marriage notoriously leads to lower IQ, which leads to less better outcomes. So why would we think that it creates the better societies?
I mean, I'm not sure about the cousin marriage. I mean, I haven't seen any studies pertaining to cousin marriage. I personally have not heard
Which
of
studies have
cousin
you seen?
marriage. I mean, first-rate cousin marriage. I've never seen that. As in, your mom has a brother, and then you marry her brother's daughters.
Okay, you
I've
haven't
never
seen the
seen that in
studies.
my life.
Fine, that's fine. So what studies have you seen that says that it leads to the better societies, and how do we know what better is?
I don't have any studies. I'm speaking on
So we can,
how I feel like
then we can
history.
throw away your first premise.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got?
All right. So, what would you say? So, if there is a better, I guess, religion or ideology that does create a better society, what do you think is that? I guess ideology.
Yeah, this is all
There
just going
has
to be
to be one.
subjective, right? A society that I think is better is going to
All
be
right,
just personally
I
based
guess
off
you're right. I guess
my
you're right.
stance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I would say there's tons of prophetic prophecies in Islam that make it undeniably true. So if you want me to list them,
Well, just give me one. If one is true, we could say that's pretty good
all right,
evidence.
if one is true. So, for example, the sack of Baghdad that is detailed enormously in the hadiths that in the Islamic golden age.
Okay. So whatever prophecy you're bringing up, was the prophecy written down before or after the event?
No, it was written down before the event. Now, I'm not sure about that, but I'm 99% sure.
Okay, so
that it
Muhammad
was written
predicts
before the
something that
event.
happened 300 years after him, because the earliest hadith is 200 years after Muhammad.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Are you stating that Muhammad predicted an event that happened 200 plus years after him, because the earliest hadith that's written is 200 years after Muhammad?
I'm not sure about that. That's the thing I gotta check. But even if that were the case, then yeah, that is still pretty valid. And if it's written in enormous detail, it's not vague. Then I guess the prophecy.
So what prophetic thing did he envision that was 200 years after him? What was it?
All right. So he said that the wide-eyed, obviously the wide-eyed people, which would be the Asians, which he was referring to the Mongols, would sack Baghdad from.
How do we know? How do we know it's the Asians and not the Inuit?
I don't know who the Inuit are. That's the thing.
Well, they're wide-eyed people.
Could I just check the hadith if that's okay with you? Because I don't have it memorized.
Okay.
I was just scrolling on YouTube and I just found your channel.
Okay.
What's up? How are y'all?
Why is he here?
That's crazy.
To be honest,
all right.
Probably because he's my only friend. Yeah.
I'm your friend.
All right.
Not like John.
Some of my. Can I read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Some of my people, this is Muhammad speaking, will alight on lying ground, which they will call Al-Basra, beside a river called the Tigris. At the end of time, descendants of Kantura will come with broad faces and small eyes and alight on the bank of the river. The city's inhabitants will separate in 3 sections.
Mm-hmm. And when did that happen?
That happened in 1258, if I'm not mistaken.
So people migrated to where? And what is your evidence for that? Why
well, the Mongols sacked Baghdad in 1258 from the ground called Al-Basra. From this, I believe from Al-Basra, and they came from the Tigris River.
When was
some people say
what's the hadith?
All right, I found this one. Wait, let me check.
You used AI, didn't you?
I did, but I'm pretty sure this is correct because I've seen it everywhere. Well, it's in Sunan Abi Dawood, 4,306. That's the hadith number.
4,306?
306. Yes. There's alternative numbering, which is 4,292 if you can't.
So it says, the messenger of Allah said, some of my people will alight on low-lying ground, which will be called Al-Barash, beside a river called Tigris, over which there is a bridge. Its people will be numerous and will be one of the capital cities of immigrants, or of the capital cities of Muslims, according to the version of Ibn Yaha, who reported from Abu Murmram or whatever. At the end of time, the descendants of the Quartar will come in broad faces and small eyes and alight the bank. So the end of time?
I believe before the end of time.
No, it says at the end of time.
Where? Is that after 4,306?
Well, it just says at the end of time. I'm reading the same, right? It's 4306. At the end of time, descendants of the Kantara will come with broad faces and small eyes and alight the bank of the river. The town's inhabitants will then separate into 3 sections, one of which will follow the cattle and live in a desert and perish, another which will seek securely for themselves and perish, but the third will be put their children behind their backs and fight the invaders, and they'll be the martyrs.
At the end of time, descendants of Kantura will come with broad faces, but they will put their children behind the marks, and they will be martyrs. I'm sorry. At the end of time, come. I believe I'm not sure, but I believe that's referring to before the end of time, as in like an implicit way of saying it.
Why should I believe that?
I mean, it's just the logical reasoning, I believe.
What logical inference are you using to draw that conclusion?
That is true. End of times will come with broad faces. Can I read the Arabic and see me? Wait. See.
If you guys want to add on to it, you can.
I'm good on this one.
Okay.
Is it fine if I use AI to assist me? I just want to be as honest as possible.
AI lies, man, all the time. It never tells the truth.
You
You can even gaslight AI
like,
to change its mind.
You can correct me if you want. I mean,
I'd rather not spend the time correcting you when you're bringing up an argument. I'd rather you just bring the facts.
All right.
Here's what we will say. We do appreciate that you're being honest in the sense that, hey, I'm using AI. Like that's
I mean, I don't know much. I'm just, I just came on. I just want, sure.
All right, bro. I'm going to jump on, but I appreciate you. God
All right,
bless. You
yeah.
seem like a nice guy,
All right.
but go look in a little bit more.
sounds good. See you guys.
Yeah, I didn't want to dogpile him. He was nice and
Well, I would have just stopped talking if you wanted to jump in. Chris, hello. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
32.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
Well, first I want to ask, why are you so against using the correct definition of atheism?
It's literally not the correct definition.
It is. I can pull it up.
It's not, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to go to Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy and read the entire page, not just the quick little blurb that says, yes, people use this as a definition. The reason I'm against that definition is because it creates a contradiction, because something can both not be maybe and no at the same time.
Okay, well, why not use... Because there's atheism and there's also anti-theism.
Yeah, so atheism is the antithesis of theism based off the word itself, atheism, right? There is no God, which is a positive claim that there is not, it does not exist. Therefore, it creates some sort of burden. Agnosticism is I do not know or it cannot be known, which again are two contradictory terms. It cannot be both not known and known at the same time. So which one is it?
The A prefix is for without. Anti prefix is for against. You're not using the words
okay,
correct.
so all right then. If I'm using fine, that's fine, I'll concede. I'm using the words incorrectly. Can you give me the difference grammatically between agnosticism and atheism then based off your definition of atheism?
An atheist is simply someone who does not have any belief in a deity. An agnostic is someone who is unsure.
Does agnostic believe in a deity?
Someone who's agnostic is someone who says they don't know.
Do they believe in a deity? If they do not know, do they believe in a deity?
Can I actually finish a sentence without you?
Can you actually answer the question? If they do not know, do they believe in a deity?
I could if you'd let me finish.
It's a yes or no. If they do not know, do they believe in a deity?
I don't know how they think.
Okay, if somebody says, I don't know if it exists.
Indifference is a thing, right?
You're saying they believe in something they don't know. Gotcha.
I'm not saying that they do believe in it. I'm also not saying that they don't believe in it. I don't know what they believe.
Oh, so you're agnostic.
An agnostic person is someone who is unsure.
Wait. So you're saying you're agnostic on the position of an agnostic. So are you affirming that they do believe that proposition or they do not believe that proposition?
I'm not affirming either.
Yeah, I'm agnostic on being agnostic towards agnosticism for agnosticism's purposes. I do not know if I do not know if I do not know.
Okay,
this is why we
that's
have
fine.
things that are called doxastic attitudes.
But
doxastic attitudes is where you're either going to have the affirmation or the negation.
Not being genuine.
And
Do you
you're
agree that
short
this
and
is
ugly. Wwhat's your point?
Do you agree that this is a true
I'm
dichotomy?
neither short nor ugly, but okay. Thanks for the personal attack.
You personally attacked me.
Okay, that's not a personal attack. It's based on your actual behavior.
Oh, so calling someone not genuine is like an act of love?
Literally didn't say that.
You said I'm not being genuine.
You are being disingenuous whenever you are saying.
And that's an act of love?
I didn't say it was an act of love.
So it is an attack.
What is it? How? Do you not know what indifference is?
Yes, I know what
You
indifference
know that
is.
something can be neither positive
All right,
nor negative.
Let's
Neutrality
watch this.
exists.
Yes, no, or I don't know. Does God exist?
The moment I answer that question, you're just going to end the call right away. You don't
Yes,
want
no,
to
or I don't know.
actually
Does
have
God
a
exist?
You don't want to actually have a genuine debate.
Yes, and you're short and ugly. So yes, no, or I don't know. Does God exist?
5'10" is not short.
It's pretty short, yeah.
And whether or not someone's ugly is
Turn
an
the camera
opinion. I don't have a camera.
on.
And the fact that you're resulting
it's
to
2026, he doesn't have a camera. Gotcha. All right. So again, yes, no, or I don't know. Does God
I
exist?
didn't realize current year means everyone has to have a camera.
Yeah. Yes, no, or I don't know. Does God exist?
I don't know.
Okay, that's agnostic.
Now go ahead and end the stream because that's what you're going to do.
You're still here.
Or not the stream, the call with me.
You're still here. That's agnostic.
I'm an atheist.
Okay, what is the difference between atheist and agnostic then?
Wait, okay. Can you prove
atheist
the
is
thing that you
someone who
believe
does not
then?
have
Hold
a
on, can you prove the
positive
thing that you believe then?
in a deity.
Hold on, I asked him.
And they also do not have the
Arthan.
positive belief in the lack of a deity. It is someone who is not saying God exists, nor are they saying God doesn't exist.
So, okay. So an
Agnostic.
atheist does, okay, I just want to be clear on the definition. I'm not trying to cut you off. An atheist is somebody who does not say God exists and does not say God doesn't exist.
They simply lack belief, but they also
Right.
do not, they don't posit any.
I'm just
They don't
curious,
posit
if they don't believe God exists, but also doesn't posit that God doesn't exist, could you say that they don't know?
Well, that entirely depends on the individual.
I mean, if they're saying
Their
God
reasoning
doesn't
could
exist
be-
and simultaneously saying that God does exist, or sorry, they're simultaneously saying I don't know if God exists or doesn't exist, couldn't you just say I don't know? Wouldn't that just be
That is what
easier?
some can.
What's
but
the
it depends on the
difference? So, in what situation could you make those statements without saying
I could
just saying
tell
I don't
you
know?
If you'd let me.
Okay, great. All right. So give me a case study where you
For
can
me
make the
personally-
hold on. Let me be very clear, and then I'll let you speak. How do you describe atheism without just convulsing down to I don't know?
Okay, so with me particularly, I don't believe in any deity because I do not personally see enough evidence that a deity exists. Now, another
I'm not
person's
asking about,
reason
okay,
is
you're not,
simply-
I'm going to cut you off because you're not answering my question. I'm talking about the definition of atheism. How do you give the definition of atheism without just going down to, I don't know? I didn't ask about your personal belief.
easy. It is just simply someone who doesn't believe in a deity.
Does
That's it.
that deity exist?
I do not personally know.
I'm not talking about personally. In the definition, somebody who's an atheist says, I don't believe in the deity, right? And I say to that atheist, does that deity exist? What do they say?
He is atheist because he knows the true God, but refuses him.
Yeah, sure. If that's what they want to believe, go for it. Again, you're trying to boil down every single person down to
Caller,
a single.
I lack the belief that you have a
rationale.
brain. I won't actually support what I have to say and refuse to defend it. Instead, I'm going to constantly deny the actual definition of the claim I'm making.
Ben, I know you wanted to talk. Go ahead.
I mean, there's so much going on here. What's your name again, guest? Sorry.
Chris.
Chris. So here's the problem. I can't speak for John, but I'll speak for myself. I'm not trying to dump people into a definition. Okay. If you want to define atheism as a lack of belief in God, that's fine. I can deal with that. But you also have to deal with the fact that there is another definition of atheism out there, which is the proposition that there are no gods or God does not exist. And when it comes to having a discussion about what's true about reality, your psychological state has nothing to do with it at the end of the day, right? Like if you're testing a crime, like if you're in a crime case and you're in a court and John is the main suspect, right? You're not going to ask the jury, hey, did John do it or did he not do it? And then they're going to go, I lack a belief that John did it. That's not going to settle anything, right? So you either are going to have to claim a position of agnosticism, which is I'm suspending belief, and you might have reasons for suspending belief that God does or does not exist, or you're going to have to say God does not exist, God probably does not exist, God probably exists, or God 100% exists. There's a spectrum, right? And if you're going to have a discussion about what's true within that spectrum, appealing to your psychological state rather than making like an actual claim is not helpful, because it just outright frames the conversation in terms of how do we convince Chris, and then you just get to avoid any burden of proof whatsoever and just hand wave everything away.
Also,
right?
it's really funny listening to Than talk about spectrums. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes, I'm also on the spectrum, so.
All right, Chris. So your doxastic attitude, not your mental state, not your individual belief, your doxastic attitude. Does God exist?
What is doxastic? That's not a term I've heard before today.
It's your positive claim, not just a belief, right? If like Than was talking about in a court system, right? They're asking if somebody's guilty. Are they innocent? Or are they guilty? Or do you not know?
I'm trying to think of how to say this in a way that would be satisfying to you that isn't a one-word answer, because this is more than just a one-word.
Well, you can explain it. You can explain it. It is a one-word answer, and I'm going to allow you to explain it. You could say yes, you could say no, you could say I don't know, and then you could explain your reasoning behind that. I will give you that. But we need some sort of affirmative claim, your doxastic position.
If I'm restricted to only those three choices, then I have to say I don't know.
Okay, then
what my actual answer would be is I do not believe any deity exists, but I am also not so arrogant as to believe a deity can't exist. It is possible. I personally have not seen enough evidence.
Okay, that's fine.
Can I translate? Can I translate that?
And that is what makes me an atheist. I do not believe in a deity, but it could exist.
Awesome. Then you're not somebody I want to talk to, because my question here is the justification for atheism. You're just telling me I'm not convinced, which is irrelevant to me. Unless you can give me a justification for God not existing.
Well, again, that comes down to, here, I have a question. Mm-hmm. Why do you insist on using atheist rather than antitheist?
Because that is the definition of atheism. And if you want to get hung up on semantics, definitions are only good insofar as the referent it's towards. So when I use the word atheism, I'm talking about the person who makes the positive claim that God does not exist.
Okay, but you're
Dog, I don't care about what you think about what I use for definitions. You want to put it on a t-shirt and own it. I don't care. Do you have an argument? You're not helping me. You're an idiot. Go read the definition on Stanford Encyclopedia, the whole thing. Go ahead. Go do that and then come back. I'm not going to argue about the definition of atheism, my friend. Do you have an argument for the actual heart of the debate?
I was not argue about the definition. I was going to say something else. If you would actually let me finish. If you want, you're Christian, correct?
I thought you didn't want me to speak.
If I said don't interrupt me, I didn't say don't answer.
Dog, just say what you want to say. I'm giving you the chance, or if I'm going to move on.
You want more people to be Christian, correct? You want to bring as many people into the congregate as you can, because that is...
Hey, okay, instead of grandstanding, just make your point.
I mean, it's a
please.
simple yes or no question. You want me to answer yes or no? Why can't you do the same?
Okay, do you know the... Okay, yes, I do. Watch this. Yes, I want more people to come into the knowledge of Christ. Hold on. Do you know the gospel? Have you heard it before?
Yes.
Great, awesome. You know what Jesus says? Yeah, hold on. Oh, great, awesome, fine. You've heard it. You know what Jesus says to do to people who've heard the gospel and reject it? Kick your heels up to them and move on. So you've already heard it. You reject it. My job is done. Now, do you have an argument for the position?
Clearly not one that you will be satisfied with.
Oh my gosh, you're literally just a condescending douche.
So you don't have an argument.
He's gone now.
No.
All right, this is a conversation you guys will like. Rick, go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got burping sounds though.
I'm on my phone right now. I might need to switch to my PC. I actually just opened up the video ninja room on there, so I'll
Excuse me.
get on the PC.
That just came out, dude. There were no warning. I'm sorry.
I've done it before too. You will like Rick. Rick is very good interlocutor. We'll give him a chance to. There, he's back. Awesome. Go ahead, man.
Is the audio better?
Way better. Way better.
Okay, sick. All right, 27. Rick, and I'm defending being a Muslim.
Shut up. Just give your argument for atheism. Give it to Than. I'll be right back.
I would just generally use like I guess kind of like the low priors argument, or like kind of like going with the null hypothesis of like something's not true until you've got like sufficient evidence otherwise.
Sorry, man. Do you care if I stop you right away? I don't want to be rude.
Yeah, sure. One second. Let me turn my volume up for you.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Sorry, I'm not trying to be a jerk. You just said something I want to unpack a little bit more, because you said low priors argument, but then you said null hypothesis, and those two concepts don't work together, right? Because null hypothesis is based off of like a frequentist approach to probability. So, do you? Yeah, it's what? Can you elaborate a little bit more on how you're using those words?
Yeah, it'd be like, yeah, the null hypothesis if you love frequentism, and then like I think the priors is for Bayes. But essentially it's more so like I guess more of like to say more simply, I guess, is just like pretty much all the interactions that we know about that we can confirm are caused by something, are caused by like a physical object, and not like something that's like not bound by the laws of nature, or more particularly the laws of physics. And there's like a second low priors argument that I like to pair with that, which is that like every mind, like every agent with
this
an
debate is
intentional
brought to you
state-
by Pepsi. Go ahead.
Dude, Coke Zero for the like. I
Yeah,
can't
Coke
believe
Zero
you
for the
drink
win.
Pepsi.
Also, this dude, I don't know if you've tried this. Sprite
Yes,
Zero
same
Sugar
thing.
Chill, the cherry lime.
Dude, I get
Oh,
I get
so
the Sprite
good, dude.
Zero with a little bit of, what do they make with Shirley Temples? The like grenadine. I just put like a little bit of
Oh,
grenadine
dude.
into the Sprite Zero.
Okay, so I was at a.
I'm sorry,
We'll
John.
get back to the debate here in a second.
No, guys, you
But
guys
dude,
are being
you'll-
too friendly
Rick-
to each other. Start
Rick,
calling and
Rick,
insulting
you'll
each other.
like this. I was at
John, you're gay
a
for drinking
wedding.
Pepsi.
I was at a wedding a while ago, and I was trying to act like a badass for the bartender as a joke, like ironically. And I went up there. I was like, "Hey, give me a kitty cocktail, extra kitty." Because said Shirley Temple. I'm sorry. Okay, go back to the priors argument.
A dirty Shirley, extra dirt. Anyway, so yeah, it's the like all of like the things that cause stuff that we know about that we can confirm really is like from like physical causes and not like something that's not bound by the laws of physics.
Oh, it's the monkey boy argument.
Yeah, and then also like all the minds that I see with like agents that have intentional states like are at least associated with the brain, not even taking a position whether it's like emergent or whatever.
Rick, can I ask you a question? Do you just go watch other people's? This is what every time you come in, you just bring in the other TikTokers. Like you brought in Ian's argument one time. Now you're bringing in Monkey Boy's argument. Is that what you do?
Sometimes, yeah. Other things like I have like thought about it before. Like I grew up like Catholic, and so like I was like, you know, Thomas Aquinas' 5 ways for the win, you know, arguing with people. And then like, you know, I think it was like introduced to like Matt Dillahunty somehow, which I don't really agree with a lot of his stuff now, although I think he's still very respectable, you know, in some aspects when he's chill.
Matt Dillahunty as a person, I'm fine with. Matt Dillahunty as argumentation, I think is kind of a joke.
Yeah, it's kind of cringe, you know. Yeah. Like I don't really vibe with it that much.
But I don't want to say too much because Stan and Matt are BFFs. So
no, we're not, dude.
Oh,
he decided he hates me.
Oh no. Yeah. Does he not like?
Oh, I'm really sad about that.
Damn.
Okay.
We were really good friends then.
So that means I can openly mock him now?
No, I'd rather not, because I'd rather keep the door open for reconciliation between us.
I think that's probably a good call. Very prudent of you.
Stop being so Christ-like. It's annoying. All right, go.
I'm un-Christ-like in other ways, okay? You know what I'm saying?
So, Than, you're familiar with the monkey? I've called you about this argument before, so if you want to respond to it.
So, I mean, it just sounds like a standard background knowledge argument. So, there's a few things I would dispute here. I mean, what is basically what you're trying to do is just argue that because the observed frequency of like a cause having a physical effect is so high that the prior probability that a fundamental thing that is going to be non-physical is going to have like a low prior probability, for instance.
Yeah, and that like depends what you mean by like what is fundamental. And I brought this up with John before, but I'm becoming more persuaded by like priority monism arguments. So I would say that like the quantum fields are fundamental, although I'm not entirely sold on that position yet. And then you view like say that like the fundamental is like actually the whole because they're non-discrete fields. So it's just like there's one thing that's fundamental, and then
Yeah, I mean, so I'm happy to conditionalize, however, right? Like if you think that there's a necessary thing, we can just kind of have a hypothesis boxing match, so to speak, about what that necessary thing is. If you're not convinced of that, I'm happy with just, for the sake of argument, assuming that both our theories are going to be a set of brute facts, right? I'm just kind of wondering what you're thinking, because at the end of the day, we want to do like a rival hypothesis comparison, right? So the argument that you're making, though, it's not, there's going to be a few issues here. One is that you're not really like, you are technically talking about the prior probability of theism, but the thing is you're smuggling in a bunch of background knowledge that the theist is going to disagree with, right?
Yeah.
Right. For instance, physicalism. Like just because, for instance, we have a brain associated with a mind in all of our experiences, that doesn't preclude a high prior probability for something that's not going to be physical, that fundamental reality that's going to be mind-like. Other things, for instance, are going to be the fact that like it's actually, I would actually dispute whether or not we have instances where there's physical brains happening with minds all the time. And I know you as a person that's not a theist or a religious person or anything, you're probably going to be like, what the heck? But like, I think we have really good evidence for miracles. I think we have really good evidence for like the spiritual world in general, stuff like that. So there's a lot of other background knowledge we can bring into this. So like there's a bunch of things like this. The other thing I would just point out is that like there's a difference between statistical probability and epistemic probability, right? You can actually have something that is highly statistically probable, has a high, like, I'm sorry, it's very low statistical probability, meaning like it doesn't happen very often, and it can have a high prior probability still. So for instance, I've never eaten an eyeball before, right? But then, so you might say the prior probability Stan's going to eat an eyeball is 0 out of however many things I've eaten in my whole life. But then say we learn that Big John Steele offered me $2 billion to eat an eyeball. And you know that I can handle something really gross, and you know that I really want $2 billion. You might say that the prior probability that I'm going to eat that eyeball is really high, regardless of the statistical probability.
So I would agree with stuff like that. And I think that can be like a decent argument, except for the fact that that's like a nomenologically possible, like it's within accordance of like the laws of physics. Whereas whenever you're like looking for like something new in physics, take example with like the Higgs boson, or gravitational waves, for example, like what they're normally looking for is like a p-value of 5 sigma. And that's like, I think like, I'd have to like try and remember my stats class right now, but it's like, it's kind of absurd. It's like, given the null hypothesis, what is the probability that this would be the outcome? And it's just like, it's just like exceedingly low.
Again, we got to decide, are we doing are we going to do a frequentist approach, or are we going to go a Bayesian approach? The null hypothesis approach would be the frequentist approach. And I would just argue it's the completely wrong approach when it comes to like fundamental theories, right? We only have one reality to test. The sample size is 1.
Yeah. But I'm using this to counter your example with Johnny eating an eyeball. So like I know that people can eat eyeballs. Like that's like you can do like a feasibility analysis, and like that's feasible. Like I know that that's feasible because it's been done before. Like someone else has done it before. So I know that that's like nomenologically possible. So like the standard of evidence for that is going to be exceedingly lower. It's still pretty. I don't think John's going to eat an eyeball, or you are, but it's still like if you said, "Hey, like,"
so are you saying that? Are you saying that theism is nomenologically impossible? What do you?
Yeah, with respect to like the laws that we know right now, it's like I would have and the laws are what we say right now because of previous experiences that we've had. So like that's how I'm like partially. That's like another additional thing that I'm bringing in to like affect the priors, is that pretty much all the stuff that I've seen has been confirmed to go in accordance with like the laws of physics, right? And like anything that seems kind of weird or maybe hasn't gone with the laws of physics is like it's unconfirmed as to like why that is the case. And so
what does unconfirmed mean?
But hold on, you kind of contradicted yourself there. You kind of said like everything I've seen is in accordance with the laws of physics outside of the things I've seen that are not in accordance with the laws of physics.
Well, they haven't confirmed that is what I'm saying, because there can be further explanations, like for example, like spooky action at a distance with like 2 entangled like quantum particles. Like I'm sure the first person that like, I don't know, thought, I'm actually not sure if it was mathematically, figured out first and then they tested it. But like if you're just like proposing this and you just like and I have no other new like evidence, I haven't seen the equations to like boost my credence in that, and then also the physical experience to boost my credence in that, then like because of my my priors, you could say, I'm not gonna think that that's like that spooky action at a distance works, where 2 entangled quantum particles like affect each other like inversely with respect to their spin. So that's like at that, like before that, I wouldn't know that that's nomenologically impossible. But then you have like a rigorous scientific and mathematical endeavor to like check that is what's actually going on. And so then at that point, like there's like super high, like the people at CERN, they're not messing up,
Well,
I have very high
so
credence that they're telling the truth and know what they're talking about.
yeah. So what's the point that we're trying to make here at the end of the day? Because more and more, we keep talking about prior probability, but more and more, we keep leaning towards this frequentist approach, right? And if you know anything about like philosophy of science, like a more Popperian way of going about things. But at the end of the day, what really matters is total evidence, right? Which hypothesis renders the total evidence more likely?
Yes. And that's like,
right. So
some of that evidence I'm trying to bring up is that like, like the priors, my priors are motivated by like stuff that goes on in science, right? Does that make sense? Like I'm just, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I'm justifying my priors with like experiments like that, and I'm saying
right, but
like
how do those lower the prior probability of theism? Because when I'm looking at science, I'm seeing, for instance, that we live in a world with regularities and dispositions that allow us to test things and laws of nature and all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
Also, just a quick side project here. Why not Mormonism, where they have like a materialistic God?
Like he's actually made of some sort of material.
Yeah, he has form and matter.
What kind of matter are we talking about?
we have to name call each other really quickly here because we're too nice to each other. You're a stinky poopy head, and I bet you have 8-inch biceps.
Yeah, actually, actually 13, and I haven't lifted in quite a while. So you're actually touching upon an insecurity of mine.
Well, that's only because you're short and ugly.
Well, sometimes short kings, there's heels available, and I am wearing.
Hey,
them,
bro,
and I'm
short kings for sure. I'm 5'7", man.
It's true. Okay. It's true. When I first saw him, I didn't even know where he was. He's like, John. I was like, where is he? He's down here.
I'm really wide though. I'm really wide though.
Well, we have to band against these freaking tallers, and we need to get them, off the streets. They're a threat to me.
I paused your timer just so you know for that bit, but yeah, I'm going to start it now.
Okay, keep going.
I'll try to be more entertaining. Sorry.
Yeah, John, let the short kings talk and get your taller ass out of here. Why don't you step into my shoes, my size 6 women's shoes once in a while?
Go ahead. You're wasting your time.
Damn. Okay. But pretty much like like a big part of it is that there's not enough evidence currently to like increase my credence based on like my priors, and my priors are that like things that don't obey the laws of physics don't exist. And I know this sucks because the scope of this is so big. You could bring up all that stuff.
Let's slow down real quickly here because I think we're conflating a few things. Because when you say I don't have enough evidence to increase my priors, we're looking at the same data set. There's just a misstep between us, I think, right? Because I'm looking at the laws of nature. I'm looking at science. I'm looking at the fact that there's deterministic things we can do and all this other stuff. And I'm sitting here thinking, hey, if at fundamental reality, like the very bottom level, the thing that explains everything else, right? Whatever that thing is, right? That's what we're theorizing about. I'm saying there is a God there, and we can go into, why God would create this kind of a world and all that kind of stuff. But at bare minimum, I'm saying, hey, the kind of reality that we live in, the kind of reality where we can do the sciences, where we have, we can have discussions like this, where minds exist, regardless of whether or not the minds are physical or if dualism is true or anything like that. The fact that we live in a world where evolution brought about people that have a disposition towards religious belief and yada, 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 all these things, right? That seems like the kind of world that a God would create. And if at the bottom of reality, you want to say something like there's a quantum field, the types of worlds that thing could cause to create without any sort of intentionality or anything like that, right, is going to be so wide. So this particular world, on that hypothesis, the conditional probability is extremely low relative to the conditional probability of this world on God's existence.
How are you determine that probability space? Because I do have some issues with like calculating the probability space for like if the constants were different. Because like with the God, for example, based on his desires, he could actually make it such that like the physical laws actually do different things. So he could say like he could decrease the
of course.
Gravitational constant by 10 margins of error, and then I'm getting my terminology wrong, but you like by like
no,
you could divide it by literally 100 billion,
there's,
and it would still be the same outcome. He could make it such that it's the same outcome, even if he did divide the gravitational constant by 100 billion.
I agree that I'm not saying theism predicts these particular laws of nature, right? But in order to answer your question of how do you determine the probability space, you first have to ask yourself the question about the possibility space, right?
Hey John, how much time do you have left?
5 minutes.
Okay, I'll talk faster. So you have to ask the question about the possibility space. So on theism, right, I'm actually going to argue that the possibility space of what kinds of worlds God would create is going to be much narrower than some sort of non-theistic hypothesis that doesn't have a bunch of like ad hoc brute facts and arbitrary limits on it. Does that make sense? So like, for instance, on theism, you can ask the question, what kind of world would God want to create? And I think that God's going to want to create a type of world like this one, for instance, where there is suffering, there is fine-tuned laws that allow for life. There is the idea that like you can actually search for the true, the good, and the beautiful, blah, 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 blah. By contrast, if you have a theory that just doesn't actually narrow out the possibility space, and the possibility space is really wide, well, then you have to account for each of those possibilities on your hypothesis. Where with mine, there's only a certain kind of world that God would create.
Two things. I would say that like you can make some sort of like stalking horse objection, like from like you could like take like an axiarchic position where like the fundamental universe, for whatever reason. I'm not familiar with that, but it's like got some sort of dispositions toward like value, and like goodness or whatever. And you could essentially like stipulate like the same properties upon the universe, but then you say it's not an agent with an intentionality in mind.
Yeah, so here's my problem with the stalking horse objection. I would argue that the stalking horse objection tacks on the axiarchic dispositions onto something that's already existing. That I'd argue is probably going to be more complex than theism anyway. With theism, I'm going to argue that I'm going to argue that theism in of itself is just going to be an axiarchic hypothesis. My gosh, John.
Yeah, what do you think about the Hilbert space? The quantum wave function with respect to the Hilbert space. Do you think that there could be maybe a second order or third order derived Schrodinger equation from that? And how do you think that affects with the
Well, I think if you take into account like the quantum bubble and the astrophysical phenomena from the psychophysical laws and the nomological intraocular.
You're not taking into account the excitations of the John is actually a gay field.
Well, yeah. So I think we lost John at this point. He got too bored, bro.
Goodbye, Rick.
One second.
Hey Rick, reach out to me anytime, man. If you want to talk some more privately too, just stay on inspiringphilosophy.com. You're cool.
You can turn my mic back
on. It is on.
Oh, what? Good thing I didn't say anything crazy.
Bastian, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hey, I'm good. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm 28 years old. How are you?
Good, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
So if you don't mind, if I could like real quick go through kind of a short backstory of if you give me like 1 minute, I can walk you through where I was initially and where I'm at now.
I'd rather not go through like the personal like walks and experiences of people. Just more like, how do we get from point A to point B? What is justification for that?
I got you. So I don't justify Islam. I never have personally. Now, at one point, I considered myself to be more atheistic. The reason was I couldn't understand why because I grew up in a Christian home.
So which position are you trying to justify, Islam or atheism?
So atheism, I guess.
Okay. What is the justification, my friend?
So I think the justification is that it's not justified, and neither is Judaism, because Jews are satanic, and they think that Jesus is in hell being boiled in high excrement.
Sure.
That's
So
in their Talmud.
all religions that we currently know of are false. Why atheism?
No. Christ is king.
Oh my gosh.
What? Why'd you agree to atheism then?
What? Am I high?
Don't say
what
that.
just happened? Oh,
atheist
low?
again.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm guessing, what is your justification for atheism?
Yeah, I just wanted to try and stillman the position because I think you got frustrated with me earlier because I wasn't getting your point. So I wanted to try and stillman your problem with what I was saying.
I don't remember.
Cool.
I got the memory of a goldfish, so, but go ahead.
Okay, so we were agreeing that there's a necessary being, something that always existed, right?
Oh no, I don't want to go in the circle again. I don't want to go in the circle again.
No.
Thank you. I remembered. Nice guy, but I don't want to go in the circle again. And I know that's where it's going to go. Freddy Cougar, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 21. How are you?
I'm good, man. What is your justification for Islam or
Dude, what
atheism?
a Giga Chad voice.
Well, Judges 16:1. Lack of morality leads me to other sources.
Yeah, so what's your
Judges
justification? Hold on,
that's your
which one are we
solution.
justifying? Islam or atheism?
Islam.
Okay. What's your justification for it?
It doesn't have Judges 16 verse 1.
How's that a justification?
Well, if you open Judges 16:1, you'll see the reason and the rationale behind that. The fact that it doesn't have passages like Judges 16:1 is a justification for Islam.
How?
Read it. If you read Judges 16:1, are you familiar with the passage?
Not off the top of my head, but let's say it says to throw babies in wood chippers and to feed them to feed cheese graters. Again, how would that prove Islam?
Shows it's not there. Islam doesn't have such teachings.
Yeah, again, let's say Islam, let's say I open up the Quran and everything in the Quran says hug your neighbor, kiss him on the forehead, give him a mwah, and just be nice all the time. How would that prove Islam?
By virtue of the fact, well, it doesn't prove Islam to be divinely inspired just on that basis, but it proves it to be morally superior.
Judges 16.
If you look at Judges 16:1, what did it say?
Okay, dude,
it says Samson went to Gaza,
read the verse,
he
so
saw
why
a
don't you
hole,
just stop
and he
yapping
had
for a
sex
second?
with her. What's the morality behind that passage?
Great.
You tell me.
Oh my Lord. You just really needed to say the word, man.
If you look at 2 Timothy 3:16, it says all scripture is inspired by God.
Are we
and
talking
it's
about 2
profitable for
Timothy?
doctrine,
Are we talking about 2
reproof,
Timothy, or are we not talking about
correction, and
16:1?
instruction in righteousness?
Hello,
The problem is the
can you
standards.
Okay.
Just to be clear, everybody, his argument is that Samson got a prostitute. That's his argument.
Yeah.
That's his justification for
what's
Islam.
no, because we don't have passages like that in the Quran. So it's something for you to look at. Now, that may not necessarily prove Islam to be 100%
Let me steelman your argument then.
or a
Let me
divine
steelman
revelation.
you a little.
But you have a
just keep
standard,
talking,
and
bro.
your
You
standard
really love
is
hearing the
the
sound of
acid
your
test
voice,
of 2
don't
Timothy
you?
3:16, which says that if scripture is supposed to be from God, let's assume I apply
Do
the
you wake
standard.
up in the morning and
then
like
it has
look
to
in
be
the mirror
profitable for
and just,
doctrine,
I'm beautiful.
reproof,
The
correction,
Quran is
and
beautiful.
instruction
It's a
into
miracle.
righteousness.
I
So if
love
you can
talking to
find a
myself
four-legged
nonstop, and
tag
nobody
where
can
that
actually talk
passage
over me. I'm not going to hear anything
appears
else
in,
anybody else has
or
to
where
say
does it fit
because the
in,
Quran
then
is a
possibly
miracle,
you have a way
and
out.
everybody else says bad things. Like, do you just chill? Just chill. Can we? Can I steal man
What's
your
the
argument?
morality? Is that your moral worldview? I mean, are you not ashamed of that,
dude?
Are you not ashamed of immorality?
Just answer the question. Answer the question right now. We do care how you do it. Now get to it.
And the other point is that if I were to reject Islam and accept Christianity, I would have to accept that Jesus is a bastard according to your standards.
We're waiting on
Do you know that?
you. Just answer.
John, little Johnny, if I were to reject Islam and accept Christianity, I would have to accept that Jesus would be a bastard according to your scriptures. What would you say about that?
He said, Little John, that's for you, bought by blood.
Okay, I'm Little John. I'm Little John, you Big John. But if I were to reject Islam and accept Christianity, I would have to accept that Jesus is a bastard. Why should I do that?
What does it have to do with the topic?
Well, you're basically seeking justifications for faith. Why would you choose one over the other? My point
what does that have to do with the topic?
If I accept Christianity over Islam,
does God have to do things according to your honor and
Jesus
shame,
would be a bastard
intuitions,
according
and
to your
culture?
worldview.
Hey, does
That's
God
what I
have
would
to
have
do
to
things
accept. Why would I
according
want
to
to
your?
accept that?
Does God have to do things according to your honor, shame, culture?
Sorry?
Does God have to do things according to your honor and shame culture?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But there's universal
values. Great. Thank you. Then your argument sucks.
Do you agree or you disagree?
What's wrong with being a bastard?
Your argument sucks.
Well, what's wrong with being a bastard? There's nothing wrong inherently, but from your worldview, a bastard shall not enter the congregation of the Lord even unto the 10th generation. So in other words, if you're a bastard, 10 subsequent generations of you become a bastard. And so based on that,
awesome. Christianity's false. Why is Islam true?
No, that's the whole point. That you're failing to look at the perspective that I'm presenting to you.
You won. You brought up an argument against Christianity. You debunked it. Christianity's false. Why is Islam true?
Well,
oh, he left on his own.
Ain't no way.
I don't think he left that abruptly on his own. I think he probably lost connection somehow.
He definitely talks himself in the mirror every morning like that.
A little pep talk.
Oh, hold on. I'm losing everybody now. I'm gonna refresh this, make sure I didn't do something weird. That's all Muslims. Oh, if you believe in Christianity, you believe in a dying man. God, that's a bastard.
Somebody in the chat said, I reject and renounce this color's energy in the mighty name of Jesus, and then he disconnected.
That'd be crazy. If that was actually from the Lord, that'd be crazy. I go to heaven just like, God, did you do that? He's like, yeah. Yeah.
See, guys, I can be spicy.
We see a random post.
It just depends on people.
We see a random post.
Sorry, go ahead.
TikTok debater gets struck by lightning in the news. Why does everybody assume this? Everybody always makes assumptions of what I believe all the time. I don't support either side. I am anti.
Where's Little John?
I don't know, but I made a screen for him and then he vanished. And so all we've seen is his face.
I think he is at work, so he probably has something.
Did I watch Divine Order debate with Dean Withers? Yeah, they've had 2 or 3 debates now. Dean keeps going back at him. Dean needs to have a little bit more self-confidence lately. Like Jesus and whatnot wrecked him. Divine Order wrecked him, and people sometimes you take L's, and he can't take an L. He keeps trying to go back and justifying it, making content about it, and saying that he won, and then redebating these people. And it's like he's a great debater. He's an incredibly intelligent person. Sometimes you just take an L and you just move on. Sanjeev, hello. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello. Yes, my name is Sanjeev. I am 24.
All right. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
Yes. I am Muslim. I justify Islam because it is the true religion. It has been around for many years now, and it is the only religion.
That's the conclusion. How do you know any of that's true?
Because I've experienced it. If you
what did you experience?
When you pray to the gods, you can feel it in your life. It is not religion in the world.
What specifically did you experience? You prayed to Allah, then what? Then what happened?
Yes, I prayed to Allah, and then I went and had sex with my goat, and Aisha, Muhammad.
Let's do some soups. After reviewing the council, we did that one. Good afternoon, bro. God bless you. God bless you too. We got that one. Now claim Glibagorp is in line with the gospel. What? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't think she was an elder of the church. Can you, Than, IP, God Logic, and Nick do the Ginyu Force stance?
I don't know. I would do it. I don't know if any of them are going to do it.
I don't think any of them like me, so I'd probably find someone else. So, Wrong City doesn't mention a composite bows. What? He is an atheist because he knows the true God, but refuses him. We got that one. If I believe that I have a lack of belief, then I still default back into a belief system. I'm in a worldview that denies that I have. Lacktheism is the most arrogant cope. Actually, I'm not saying anything. I am just stating that I don't believe, okay? But you're an idiot for believing, even though I don't have a reason for you not to believe. But you were still an idiot. John, you're running. You didn't let him finish. Let who finish? Let me remember.
More sassy than on the lives, please. Also plug for Inspiring Philosophy Academy.
You want to plug the academy? Also, has Than accepted WOM?
I don't know. I don't know what WOM is.
The answer is no.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll just do a short plug for the academy. So everybody knows what Inspiring Philosophy is. We have another channel called Inspiring Philosophy Academy, and we have a school community, SKOOL, where me and Tim Howard are running that. Yeah, Mike will come in here and there, but we're working with a bunch of different scholars in various different fields, and we're actually getting courses set up so that way if you guys want to learn something, you can get in there, work with us one-on-one, and take cool courses to actually get a mastery in the different topics rather than just kind of watching YouTube videos and trying to parrot what people like us say. You actually get to like embody that wisdom. So
that's why I'm friends with you.
Pretty great. I'm also a member.
I've actually got to head out. Thanks for letting me hang for a little bit, John. And Than, always good to see you. I did. I talked to that one guy. I asked him a question about being agnostic about agnosticism. I did not, but I brought some of like my viewers here. So that's, I brought like maybe 5 people.
All 2 of them. Get out here. Also, real quick, I hate to do this, guys. It's been a while since we've had to do it. But I do have to do it because we're getting close to the end time today. And
toss a coin to your grifter. Big John needs to pay his bills. Big John needs to pay his bills. Oh,
we got to do a grift break.
Toss a coin to your grifter. Big John needs to pay his bills. When a humble sage graced a common thread, he was forced to engage with the brain cell dead. He sat down to fight every drooling dunce who peak evolved apparently just the once. They came after him with their toddler takes, the kind of argument a concussion makes, while the mouth-breathing mass is smashed.
Well, thank you. That put us right, and appreciate you.
Good job.
he's like, shut up. Just bring up the next guy.
Guys, if you give John another like $2,000,
hello, I
will I'll make a video of me deadlifting in a maid outfit.
Based. Grizzly, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello, John. I'm good. I'm 35.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
It is a debate or a discussion.
It's a debate. Just before you go real quick, mine and Than's jizya for WOM. Appreciate you. And then $2 to ask Than if you would play D&D with us. We do a D&D session with us and the viewers. Would you do a session with us this September?
Is us you?
It's me.
Are you included?
It's me and my viewers. So my chat gets to play a game of D&D with me. And it'd be cool if you came along to play too.
That sounds very fun. Do I get to like really get into it though and like get in my character?
Yep.
Big time.
Yep.
Hell yeah. That sounds fun.
We already did a session. It was a huge success. It was a lot of fun. All right, Grizzly, go ahead. What's your justification?
Yeah, so I was going to say, right, look, either if I just try to justify atheism or try to justify Islam, you're going to reject both, aren't you? If you're from that position, that you're going to reject both ideas or both justifications.
So which one do you want to justify?
I'm justifying Islam.
Okay, go for it.
The proof's all around you. The world has been shaped. The world is literally shaped by religions. In Islam, it is said, it has given recorded evidence of what's happened in the past with all the messengers. And the world today is shaped by religion. In case you haven't realized, there's billions of people that follow these religions. And the world is shaped due to these religions. So, if these religions were fake, for example, and God never intervened in humanity and there was no God whatsoever that intervened, I believe that humanity would not have been guided to where it is now. It is only due to divine intervention that humanity is at the stage that it is now. If God had never intervened, then there would never have been these messengers that we're told about Noah.
Yeah, how do you know there's any messengers at all?
Okay, that's fine. How is there any messengers? If someone come to you today and said he's a messenger of God, would you believe him?
Probably not.
Probably not. What would you say to him?
Depends. If that's all they said, I'd say, all right, bud, and I'd keep going.
Would you not ask him to prove it?
Probably not, no.
You wouldn't. Okay, so if you were a Jew at the time when Jesus arrived,
they literally asked Jesus to prove it, and Jesus said no.
What? 1 second, right? And Jesus said he's a messenger of God. You're the kind of person you would not even believe Jesus.
Dog, that's not what I said. What is your justification that there's any messengers?
The proof that there's billions of people that follow these specific messengers. Muhammad,
Okay, so
Jesus, Moses.
is Mormonism true?
Sorry?
Is Mormonism true?
I don't know, mate. I don't know about that, but what I'm trying to say, under the banner of Judaism,
Hold on.
Mormonism
Mormonism has a prophet that was sent by God to correct all the mistakes that Christianity had. His name was Joseph Smith.
Well, he was not,
so
he
is
was
Mormonism
not a successful
true?
messenger.
He was a
He
success.
was
There's a huge Mormon church in the States, and it's still growing.
Is there billions? Or is there billions of these people?
It takes time to get billions. It's only been a church for like a couple hundred years.
Right now, mate, it depends on what he said, right? As far as I know, he's not a successful
Okay, so
messenger.
then what does somebody
I've never
have
heard
to
this
say
guy.
to prove that they're a messenger from God?
Sorry?
What does somebody have to say to prove that they're a
Sorry?
messenger from God?
Okay, fine. So let's go at the time of the prophets now. So they had the same question.
We haven't even proved that they're prophets yet. What does somebody have to say to prove that they're a messenger of God?
First of all, we need to see who this person is and what they're saying. What are they actually
I
saying?
agree.
Second
You've said
of
that
all,
7 times. What do they have to say?
Okay, depends. Okay, right. Hold on, I'm getting there. This is what I mean. You're trying to apply pressure. You know what? I'm trying to have a talk. I'm trying to explain myself as clearly as I can, and it takes maybe
You keep saying
longer.
it's what they say. So what do they have to say to prove that they're from God?
Okay. Well, it depends on what is going on in the environment at the time. Now, if there's somewhere where there's a lot of corruption, and someone appears and says, "I am a messenger sent from God. I have been told to tell you all to stop doing what you're doing, all these bad things, and do good."
Okay, so Gandhi is a messenger from God?
Sorry?
Gandhi's a messenger from God?
Sorry?
Gandhi.
Right. Gandhi never claimed to be a messenger from God. Gandhi never claimed to be a messenger from God. So thus, the reason when these messengers came, the people said, "Prove your messengership. If you are truly a messenger from God."
Well, all right, guys. I got you, man. I am a messenger from God. Hold on. I am a messenger from God. I tell everybody in the world right now to stop going to war with each other.
Okay, that's fine. Do you know? But are you being honest in what you're saying? Do you swear by God that you're?
I am a messenger of God. I am a messenger of God.
Okay, brother. All right, brother. Swear by God right now that you're a messenger from God.
God tells us not to make any swears upon Him, whether it is false or true.
Okay, then that's fine. All right, I'm glad that you didn't do that. Okay, now, can you prove that you're a messenger from God?
I just used your criteria and I proved it. I came and said to people, I'm a messenger. I said, I am a messenger, and I told people to stop doing bad things. That was your criterion. Was that not your criterion?
Hold on, John. All yours is mate, John. Listen, every messenger had been given specific miracles to prove their messengership. Which miracle have you been given, John?
The miracle of tolerance.
I don't think many people will believe that. We need like a physical miracle.
I am
like
the most tolerant, patient
explaining.
individual that has ever existed.
No.
And my chat can attest to this. This is clearly a miracle from God.
John. You need to do something extraordinary, something along the lines of what any messenger had done before.
Yes,
whether that be Prophet Solomon, King David,
no other messenger was as tolerant and patient with Muslims as I am.
Prophet Muhammad.
Muhammad condemned them all the time.
You need to go beyond the laws of physics, mate. Right? Muhammad split the moon. Apparently.
How do you know he split the moon?
Right, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second.
No, we're not going to get there in a second. How do you know he split the moon?
How do you know Jesus resurrected the dead?
You're jumping.
How do you know King Solomon?
Tuko Kwe. Shift the goalpost. Don't answer questions. All right, so again, how do you know Muhammad split the moon?
I'm listening. Okay, that's fine. Right. Okay, there's a couple of evidences, actually. I've actually researched into this. This is one amongst many evidences. Now, we're not going to go based on just one evidence, because then that wouldn't be justifiable for that religion to be true. So if there's 100 evidences, and all 100 of them happen to be true, then there's possibly 99% of chance that that religion is true. Would you agree?
Just tell me the evidence, bro. How do you know he split the moon?
Okay, that's fine. Now, I've looked into this specific miracle. Now, apparently there is physical, actually, evidence of this. It came on a TV show in the 1980s.
Your evidence is the History Channel in the 1980s or something like that. That's your evidence?
Yeah, well, maybe covered. I don't know. That's just a different topic. But there is some evidence about this. Also,
and what is it?
At the time of the Prophet, at the time of the Prophet, when this occurrence happened, when he stood on top of the pillar, and to prove his messengership, he pointed at the moon.
How do you know he did it?
Hold on. I'm trying to explain to you, brother.
No. You just need to tell me how you're telling me the story. How do you know the story is true?
I'm trying to explain to you, bro. So if he had split the moon, would that have been visible to everybody that was seeing nighttime at that time, at that moment in time in the world, when the Prophet Muhammad split the moon? Would it have been visible to every human being on the dark side?
If my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bicycle, right? Well, how do you know that he split the moon?
Because there have been reports of
what reports?
Splitting of the moon in different lands.
Where?
In different lands in India. There's a
show me these reports.
It's the earliest built. Mate, you have to look up on them. What do you want me to get
my
laptop out and get on all this? It's not an argument. How is that?
It's not an argument? Well, then I appreciate your time. We're only looking for arguments. Freddy Cougar. You were up here earlier. Why did he leave? I don't remember. Why did you leave?
I don't know. I just got cut off from your stream.
Oh yeah, somebody prayed in Jesus' name.
So they cursed me and they cut me off. But I think the last point is that you said I disproved Christianity, and so you're willing to reject it, as I understand, and then I got cut off.
That's not what he said.
Well, he said that I just.
Here's what I'm doing. I'm granting the argument because all Muslims ever do is try to disprove Christianity because they know that their own religion has nothing. You guys hope that if Christianity is false, people will just become Muslims because you know your religion is built off a foundation of lies. So I just want to know how you know your religion is true. I don't want to argue about Christianity.
So that's your question. Okay. So let me deal with that.
Okay.
So you want to know how is Islam true? So let me start off with the principle that from our perspective, we would argue that Islam and the Quran are true, based on the simplicity and the universality of Islamic monotheism. In other words, there's a historic culmination of the prophetic traditions, and of course,
simplicity of monotheism
from the Quran.
Okay.
Yeah, we would argue on the monotheism issue. We would argue that why Islam is true because it presents a clear foundational belief in one single, unique creator without partners.
How many attributes does Allah have?
Well, he's got multiple attributes, 99 attributes.
99, right? Okay. I have a god
Yeah.
named Glibbleglorp who only has one attribute. Therefore, he is more simple. Therefore,
Yeah.
it's true.
No, but that's stupid because the problem you are conflating and the problem you're basically making is that you assume that these attributes are somehow or the other equivalent to the different persons of the Trinity. The attributes are inherent in God.
I never even brought up the Trinity. You didn't listen. No, you didn't listen. You didn't listen to me. I said Glibbleglorp, not the Trinity. Glibbleglorp is true and only has one attribute, and that attribute is existence. Right? So therefore,
who's Glibbleglorp?
It's the one true God.
How does he fulfill the definitions of Occam's razor?
Well, so again, that's not how Occam's razor work. Occam's razor doesn't work by the specific being, right? Occam's razor works by hypotheses, right? If we're bringing up syllogisms. Now hold on. But you said I'm using your argument against you. You said Islam has a simpler idea of God, which being the oneness. You're bringing up Tawhid, sorry.
Yeah.
Tawhid as an evidence of Islam. So I just posit a God that is more simpler than Allah, and that disproves Islam.
So your point is the fact that Allah basically has multiple attributes, is all powerful, all knowing, all seeing, omnipresent or omniscient, that somehow or the other detracts from this whole aspect of divine simplicity.
I never even said any of those words. Nope.
You made the point.
Question.
I argued on the principle of divine simplicity, and you stated that you've got even a simpler concept of God, glib-de-gluk. From Islamic theology,
put respect on the name,
that
Glibbleglorp. If you disrespect Glibbleglorp again, you will get banned. Glibbleglorp.
Yeah, he's a scumbag. Okay.
I warned you.
Let me
I
answer
warned
this.
you. I warned you. I gave you an opportunity. You do not respect Glibbleglorp or his angel Quackles. All right? You do not disrespect Glibbleglorp and Quackles up in this his house. All right? You can't do it. Can't do it. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Oh, you're not here anymore. You're not here anymore. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. You were warned. Don't disrespect Glibbleglorp. Blasphemy, Gliblo, you got a gizzo. Wow. All right, folks, smash the like button, share live, do the things that you need to do. We have no one in the queue now. Today's topic is, what is your justification for Islam or atheism? So basically what we're looking is some sort of empirical evidence that points in the direction of your belief system. Your belief system, right? Your doxastic attitude. No one right over his head. Didn't get it. Yeah. Just look at the moon. It never split. Oh, yeah. What is the only justification you're going to bring up? I look molestable?
What?
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
That's not. Where is that?
I'm going to take it as a compliment.
Baby.
It means I'm hot.
No.
Either hot or weak, one of the two.
I think it's both.
Hot and weak. There you go. There you go. It's a yellow card comment. Did you know Glibbleglorp is in Harry Potter? I did not. Nah, that's a ban. It's up to you guys. I don't run the chat. Abby about to throw hands. Like, really molestable? Wow. All right, guys. Is anybody going to come up? If not, I can call it a day. Yeah, that's true. If one person can take you down, imagine what two can do to you. That is true. That's why I make sure one person can't take me down. Unless it's like Islam Makhachev. People keep jumping in the queue and then bouncing. Religion is a tool to control masses. Oh, well, you know what? Why don't you come up and prove that? I'll change the topic for you. Come up and prove to me that religion is a tool to control masses. I don't know what Mavizzle Dizzle is.
What?
Somebody asked if Global Corp is the same as Mavizzle Dizzle. John looks suitable. We'll accept that one.
Ain't no way.
Free Palestine? Sure, I'll take one. I'll take one. I don't know what Medizzle. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Oh.
I would stop saying it.
All right.
Just in
case. Just in case it's a thing that I don't know. Dude probably read Pay Your Taxes verses and didn't like it. I literally opted out. I have the ability to opt in to what is the word I'm looking for? Non-profit. I fit the criteria as a nonprofit. I chose not to pay nonprofit so I could pay more in taxes because I felt it was dishonest. So you tell me if I don't believe in that. You tell me. I literally chose to pay more taxes because I thought it was more honest because I'm trying to make a profit. Mm-hmm. Damn it, I just stole my rewards from heaven. Damn it. Mm-hmm. You never pay taxes in Islam, you can live free in the system. Don't they have a thing called jizya?
Isn't that only for not?
Is Tawhid legal in Canada? Asking for a friend. It is. It is. Which is awful, but it is. Do we pay taxes to King Charles? I think so.
I'm gone for one day for classes and Abby complains about shorts chat. JJ returns to the Discord and Gliplaglorp gets dissed. Pure chaos without me SMH.
That's like what people who do HR, that's what they say. No, this place would fall apart without me. PSA, JJ is back and I was right. My gosh. My gosh. When will you learn, old man?
He's not even old. He's
When
just
will you learn?
too young.
Why would believing in a God and his ones be a bad thing? What? If Christians follow Trump, then I'm definitely not becoming a Christian. Those are not mutually exclusive. A Christian can follow Trump and also not follow Trump, and it wouldn't change their Christianity. That's a really silly position. Could you imagine giving
Christians?
Could you imagine giving up your internal salvation because one guy or a few people or even a whole group of people who believed in that salvation also believed in Trump? That's crazy work. Wolverine game is looking like crap now. That sucks. That sucks. I'm tired, Grandpa. I've been thinking about buying a PlayStation. Been thinking about it. Yeah. Who wants to buy me a PlayStation? Not because I need it, but just because you can.
Don't do that.
I too would love a PlayStation, to be honest.
The Pro, though. I want the Pro. Don't send me the base model. If you're gonna do that, don't bother. I'll just give it away. It's got to be the Pro. I ain't playing no 30 frames. Get out of here. Free PlayStation, please. PlayStation 1. You want to switch too? I just want to play Grand Theft Auto, man. $900 for the Pro, by the way. Get it done. Get it done. Get it done. I appreciate it. Except Funky. Funky's not allowed to buy it. Anybody else can, but not Funky. Wait for the PS6. It's going to be like $1,500, bro. It's going to be like $1,500. It's going to be crazy. I do agree that religion gives people good morals. No, based. Switch 2 for the Ocarina of Time. There is not one good Zelda game.
Have you played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom?
No, I didn't have to.
Dude.
I don't own a Switch.
You should try it.
How am I going to try it? I don't own a Switch. I'm not buying a Nintendo Switch to try a game that's probably going to suck.
Chat. John needs $2,000 and a Switch 2.
No, not a Switch 2. I'm not playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. It looks like trash.
What if somebody buys it for you, though?
I would try it. Grizzly, why were you gone? Why were you kicked?
I don't know. I thought you kicked me out.
How'd you get back up here?
I just got because I was just watching I was just actually just watching the replay, and then I realized that Yeah, I've not finished it.
What?
Yeah, because I was just watching the video of what we were just talking about. It just popped back up on the screen, so I was just watching it all. And we got to the point where you said, how would you know that the messenger actually...
I don't remember this guy.
Hold on, we got another person in the queue. Let's bring them up. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm 39.
All right, man. What is your justification for Islam or atheism?
So sure, yeah, my justification is going to be for Islam.
Okay, what is it?
So my justification would be that the message of Islam can be traced back to the one who delivered the message.
Okay, if I grant that, how does it mean it's true?
Sure, because the message within itself claims to be from God. And that message, that the claim for it to be coming from God can also be verified by other miracles within the claim itself.
Okay, what are these miracles?
Sure. So the miracles would be corrections of previous stories.
That's not a miracle.
No, I'm getting to it. Okay, so before I explain what they are, it's not a. It's the miracles or the miracle. It's not a. What's the best way to put it? A smoking gun. It's not one miracle to prove that this is the reason why Islam is true, or this is the miracle that proves Islam is true. Rather, it's an accumulation of evidence. It's an accumulation of miracles.
So if by itself it's not a miracle, then it's not a miracle. It being collectively put together with a whole bunch of other things doesn't make it a miracle.
No. So if by itself is subjective. By itself, it can convince one person. It might not convince somebody else. However,
I'm not interested in whether it's convincing. Right? You're talking about like a rhetoric, right? The rhetoric is irrelevant to me. I'm more interested in the justification. What makes it true?
What makes it true? So step one, does it claim to be what it is? Yes, it claims to be from God, and it claims to be sent from God. Step number two, how can we verify these claims to be true? Because any book can make that claim, right?
Is it logically possible that God can send a book where he doesn't claim it's from him?
Sure, of course.
Okay, so then how is one an evidence that it is like a justification for Islam? Because if God could do either and it'd still be from him, how does it prove it's from him?
Because if he makes the claim, then half the work's already done, right? There's no working out. It's there in front of us.
I don't think you understand my objection. So if it's logically possible that God can give a book where he does not claim it's from him, people just know it, but he never makes the claim. And he can also give a book where he does claim it's from him. How is the claim an evidence if it doesn't change whether or not it's from him?
How is the claim an evidence that whether it doesn't change whether it's from him or not?
Yeah. If the claim has no causal effect to whether or not it came from him, or there's no what's the word I'm looking for? There's no like supervened explanation for it, then how does the claim prove that it came from God?
Yeah, excellent. Good question. So when it comes to a book which humankind, based on conjecture, believe it's from God, it's normally because of a development of theology over time, rather than it being a supernatural event which we're accustomed to, right? For example, the 10 Commandments of Moses was a supernatural event which happened, there and then. It wasn't a development over time. Moses claimed that it came from God. Same as the Quran, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, claimed that he received this revelation from God. However, if we take, for example, the New Testament, I don't want to jump to Christianity, but I'm using it as an example because it's the best that I can find. We know the scriptures, the Gospels were written over a period of time, okay, and they were supposedly inspired by God. It was the footprint.
You're kind of just steamrolling into nothingness. So what? Just a methodology. How does the claim raise the probability or lower the probability whether it actually is from God?
Sure, because if it claims to be from God, then it's more convincing that this is from God. And if it doesn't claim to be from God, then it's conjecture, it's guesswork.
But you're still okay. You're still guessing.
That doesn't follow.
Okay.
Like you could also have an inspiration process that is from God.
Sure, I understand, but so the problem you have with the inspiration process is I was trying to explain. So if we look at the pattern,
sorry, before you go, have I met the first criteria of writing something that's from God?
Yes.
Okay, so let's do it then. Let's do it. So I'm going to see if I can meet all your criterion. Okay, this is from God. What's the second criterion?
An accumulation of evidences to verify the claim as credible.
Well, everybody here, we have like 400 or 500 people watching right now. They can all confirm that I wrote it and it's credible.
No, an accumulation of evidences, meaning miracles.
Okay, miracles. What do you define a miracle?
Something miraculous which normally goes against the rules of logic.
You got to define miracle without using the word miracle.
Sure. A supernatural event. A miracle is quite a broad term, so it can be a supernatural event. It could be something beyond reasonable expectation. It can be something, best way I can describe it is something not humanly possible.
Hold on. God spoke to me about this to write this down. So that's a miracle. So we have that now. We now fit the second criterion based off your definition of a miracle.
No, they're both still claims. You're still in criteria number one. Yes, you ticked off criteria.
This is
number
from
one.
God. Check. And God told me this. That's a miracle. So check.
What's the miracle? Because I can do the same. I can emulate what you're doing.
That's literally the point.
That's the point. That's the point.
Sure, but that's the point. So the Quran gives the challenge that if you think this book is from other than God, emulate it.
You're changing the criterion.
Yeah, the criteria are there to hold on. The criteria are there because you're trying to justify that the Quran is from God. You can't then say one of the criteria is that it looks like the Quran. Now try to beat it.
Okay, can you steel man both the criteria I put forward to you just to see if you can understand the criteria?
It claims it's from God, and that there's some sort of supernatural set of events, right, that vindicate the message that it is claimed to be from God.
No, that's not what I said. I've made it very clear. No, I used the word accumulation, right? I used the word accumulation.
You need an accumulation of evidence that confirm the miracles.
Events that vindicate the message is the same thing that you just said.
Sure. So what when I say an accumulation of evidences, for example, okay, it's not. Let's say I.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to add another miracle, prophecy. I have many video of me prophesying of what would happen and it coming to happen. The chat can back this up. Perfect. They've seen it. So I've done prophecy as well. So I've done 2 miracle claims and we have evidence of both those miracles.
That's exactly what I was going to explain. So when I say an accumulation of evidences, you need me to.
Okay, so then I've met all 3 then. I've met 3. I have 2 miracles, right? That's an accumulation. I have testimony and video evidence of these so-called miracles. And I have it claiming being from God. So,
sure. So, okay. So we've not seen or heard the prophecy, but
no, we have. Chat. Have you guys not seen me predict these things?
It literally just happened today.
Can I talk because you keep cutting me like?
But you said we have not seen the prophecy, so I have to cut you off. I have, for example, with my debate against Muhammad Hijab, before I was on the debate, I prophesied how the debate went down, and it went down that way.
That's a prediction.
Right. I also, when I had a debate this Saturday, I prophesied that he was going to use a specific argument, and then I rebutted that argument before he even made it. So I fulfilled prophecy.
I'm granting you that. It's not a problem with me. Like I said, I'm going to grant you that. It's fine. But what I'm showing to you, by me granting you that, it's still no match to the Quran, and I'm giving you a reason why. I'm going to reiterate, I'm talking about an accumulation of evidences. So when I say an accumulation of evidences, I'm not talking about multiple prophecies. I'm talking about an accumulation of evidences of miracles, miraculous things on a broad sense, right? So I'm going to go and explain. I'll appreciate if you don't interrupt me whilst I explain, so you understand what I'm trying to, the message I'm trying to put across, right?
Okay, fine. I won't interrupt you, but no explanations, just methodologies. Or sorry, no examples, just methodologies. Sorry.
What, I mean, you're making this difficult for me. What do you mean? No,
Can you do it without being long-winded? Like, it should be fairly simple. Like, you should just be able to go miracles, prophecy.
Give me 20
blah,
seconds
blah, blah,
max. 20 seconds max. I'm going to summarize it. Okay, you can put time into it. Okay, so how is the Quran miraculous? It makes corrections or stories of the past which we
stop. That's the thing in question. You can't say how the Quran is miraculous and then point to all the things that the Quran so-called does. The thing that we're asking for is a methodology to confirm something is miraculous in general. What is the methodology? So we got, it has to say this is from God, right? And we need miracles and evidence towards those miracles.
Sure. Archaeological, historical evidences, scientific evidences.
Archaeological evidences. Okay.
Historicity.
So, okay. All right. So our archaeological evidences. All right. We have discovered the Baths of Bethsaida from the scripture, and I know that, so I fulfill this. Historical claims. We know the Exodus happened because of the testimony that came from inspiring philosophy with the Egyptologist. So therefore, I've confirmed history. I've met the criterion.
It's just not convincing enough to me. Like you're claiming to me,
you're
claiming to have met these criteria. Why don't you run for a prophet? Why don't you become a Joseph Smith?
How do you run for profit?
Dog, you're missing the point. The point is
democracy now, I guess.
The whole point I'm trying to show you is that Muhammad is not a prophet. My point isn't that I'm actually a prophet and both me and Muhammad are prophets. My point is your criterion is so silly that Muhammad's not a prophet.
Sure, excellent. So in order for you to falsify his claim of prophethood, go ahead and emulate the miraculous, the miraculous. No, you're claiming to have it, but we don't see evidence of you actually doing it.
We have evidence of me doing prophecy, literally recorded, of me saying, I'm going to make a prediction and then it coming to fruition.
I've also predicted a World Cup. It doesn't make me a prophet. It doesn't mean it's a prophet.
I agree. It doesn't make you a prophet. 100%.
Sure.
That's my point.
You're claiming to have. You're claiming to have. You're claiming to have done miracles based on archaeological, historical evidences. You show no evidences of that. It's just a claim.
I told you things that we know in history that are true.
Okay, but the point is,
I have knowledge of history. I have knowledge of archaeological things. So what separates me from Muhammad?
So I'll give you an example. So for example, the hieroglyphics in 7th century was a dead language globally. Okay, It was buried away. This was something only discovered and translated recently, okay, through archaeological discoveries. However, there was information contained on the Rosetta Stone, which was written in hieroglyphics. When discovered and translated, it actually correlated with the Quran. The very thing that it correlated with, that very thing was being ridiculed.
Do you know correlation is causation is a fallacy?
What do you mean by correlation is a causation?
You're literally bringing up a correlate and saying that's evidence. Things that correlate is not evidence of things.
I'm explaining to you how it is. So basically, the name Haman, okay, who was a chief architect of the pharaoh, according to the Rosetta Stone and according to the Quran, the name Haman was never known. In fact, Christians would read this verse and say,
"How do you know it was never known?"
Muhammad, I'm explaining to you why, because
you just said it was never known, and then said I'm explaining. Then you kept going. How do you know it was never known?
literally, that was going to be my next sentence. So Christians, they were familiar with the name Haman, but they never connected to the story of Pharaoh. It was
okay, that would mean Christians never knew. Haman, how do you know it was never known?
Because hieroglyphics was a dead language in 7th century globally, not just Arabia.
Yeah, so you're just stating that they didn't know. How do you know they didn't know?
How do we know they didn't know? Because
like here's the thing. I have a guy who talks it. Let's say everything you're saying is correct. Let's say even Muhammad wrote the hieroglyphics exactly how it looked like on the Rosetta Stone, word for word, right? And I'm sitting there trying to figure out how Muhammad did that. What is the probability of he just knew somehow that I'm aware of versus God told him, right? Like if I'm trying to be a logical, rational person, what is the better conclusion to draw towards?
Yeah, I mean, that's your way of disputing a miracle, right? I mean, the same way, I mean, Jesus did miracles.
You can't just say because it's a miracle. You can't just say because it's a miracle, because that's the thing in question. We see something in the past. We see them have knowledge of something, right? I have two hypotheses. He knows somehow, and I don't know how he knows, or God told him, right? I don't see any reason to believe God told him, right? It's perfectly logically possible that within this time period, they just knew. And he's the one who recorded it, considering the vast majority of things in history have been lost.
Okay, so I'm explaining to you how, I'm proving to you how that this name Haman was unknown across the world. Okay,
it wasn't unknown because Muhammad.
Hold on. I was just going to say, if let's just hypothetical, if it was known around the time of Muhammad that the word Haman is the right word, would you expect people in an oral culture to, use that word and then it would be recorded in a book sometime?
Do you care to explain what do you mean by a book? Because this information was discovered in the Rosetta Stone.
If people knew of the word Haman, would you not expect somebody to write it down?
Sure, yeah, somebody can write it down. Well, what's your point?
Okay.
What is it completely?
So then the easier hypothesis here is that they just knew the word and they wrote it down in the Quran rather than God told him. And this is granting that he actually knows this word and there's a connection to the Rosetta Stone, which I don't think is the case.
The name is also just not unknown, mind you, by the way. Like,
the
Egyptian language was not dead. It was preserved in Coptic languages. You're going to find this name in the Book of Esther. You're going to find this in Jewish sources.
Can you steel man how I'm claiming that?
Can you steel man what I just said?
I'm finding it difficult. That's why I asked you to explain. But I think you literally just said that if the name Haman was known to the people, then it would have been written down in the book later on.
Right. I'm just saying, yeah, the fact that it shows up, right, in your sources is evidence for the idea that it was known at the time.
Is evident? Not. So I'm explaining to you how that's not true.
Okay.
Can I go ahead and explain?
If people in the past, okay. If people in the past knew the name, you would expect to see somebody write it down. We see somebody write it down, so therefore, people in the past knew the name. Do you understand?
So the Rosetta Stone wasn't written after Muhammad; it was written before Muhammad.
No, we're not talking about the Rosetta Stone. We're talking about Muhammad bringing up the name and him knowing of something that's on the Rosetta Stone. You said they didn't know. The thing is, if they did know, you would expect to see someone write it down. We see someone write it down, therefore the conclusion is they knew.
Sure. So if I was to grant you that position, not a problem. I will grant you that position. Granting that position, then can you please go ahead and explain why were Christian polemicists, missionaries, and Western Orientalists ridiculing the mention of Haman in the Quran for over 1,000 years?
Again, if I grant the argument, this is very simple. This is very simple. If I grant the argument, it would be because the Christians didn't know and the Muslims did.
How convenient that the Muslims knew, but the Christians like they never interacted for over 1,000 years.
That's backing up my point. If they never interacted, then you would expect to see one culture know and another culture not know.
Sure, dude. I don't think. I mean, it's to me. This is like Jesus doing miracles in front of the Jews, and the Jews denying them.
So to you, okay. So you think Muhammad knowing a name is equivalent to Jesus rising from the dead?
Sure. Yeah.
No way.
Your parents' cousins?
No.
Yeah. All right. Dog.
Wow.
This will be our Grizzly. Go away. Somebody asked, where do we vote if I become a prophet? Abby, do a poll. Do a poll. We'll do a vote right now. Am I a prophet of Allah? Not of Yahweh. A prophet of Allah. That was painful.
It is almost 4 o'clock.
Yep. We're shutting it down quick. Okay. Bring it. He left on his own. I can't bring him back. He left on his own, guys. Than, thanks for hanging out today.
Yeah.
Are you gonna take your shirt off?
No.
What if I said please?
No.
What if somebody sends me $500?
No. But if you want to, you can see that in about 9 months, probably, when I do my next bodybuilding show.
I already have pictures of you with your shirt off. I just want another one. I actually do. I have pictures of Than on my phone with a shirt off. You guys want to see?
No. We don't need the Muslim. We don't need the Dawa gooners taking those screenshots.
They already took a clip of me saying it, and then there's going to be a next website. Oh, you see? Is this what Jesus would want?
There's nothing wrong with another man appreciating.
All right.
Another man's
last
hard
one.
work.
It's got to be quick. Arian, hello. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
Hello, sir. I'm 23 years old.
All right.
And I was calling.
Fast, bro. What is your justification for Islam or atheism? Go.
Sorry, I'm really slow, but I mean, as in I speak really slow because it's not my mother's tongue. But I was thinking about talking about the concept of monotheism and just going from that aspect, if it's okay with
Let's go. Wait, how old did you say you were?
23 years old.
Everybody's saying you're 15.
I was saying, the world is a series of causes and effects. I think, do you agree with that notion? And the fact that all the material beings, none of it would exist without an independent source that is the originator of all the material world. Do you agree with that notion?
I think everybody here is a theist, so we can.
Oh, yeah. So I think the way I'm not here to come from an argument.
Dog, you got 2 minutes. It's a debate. You need to speed run an argument, man.
Yeah, okay, yeah. My argument is more so that I feel like, from what I understand, going from this aspect, Trinity doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, Trinity is false. Why is Islam true?
So, Judaism or Islam make a more compelling argument.
Sure. What is the compelling argument for Islam?
So, from what I understand, is that Islam presents a better argument in.
And what is the argument?
Simplicity. No, I'm saying because Islam does not say there is one God, but 3 persons at the same time.
Yes, Trinity false. Why Islam?
No, but I'm saying that's what I was asking you initially. If it's okay
there's 300 other religions that have a strict monotheism. Why Islam?
To say, I was trying to more so say that I feel like Islam or Judaism present a more compelling argument.
Great, awesome. Why? What's the reason why? You told me they do. How do they do it?
No, but that's exactly what I'm saying.
Your argument is that there is a good argument for it. What is the argument?
If there is one God and 3 persons.
Trinity false. Why Islam? Why?
Are the
Come on.
same in every aspect possible. And
All
there
right,
is no
Trinity false.
differentiating
Trinity
factor.
false.
And
Why
there is
Islam?
No differentiating factor. That's the part I actually want to learn from you.
You're not learning nothing from me today. Trinity false. Why Islam?
No, but that's what I'm saying. I thought maybe I can learn something from you.
Oh, read a book then. You got 13 seconds. What's your justification for Islam or atheism? Go.
Who, me?
Yes.
Well, I'm an atheist because I haven't seen sufficient evidence to convince me that a god or gods exist.
Yeah, I haven't seen sufficient evidence you got a brain in your skull, so. Therefore, I don't believe you have a brain in your skull.
Damn. Well, that's fair.
I'm just saying, that's the same type of argumentation.
But there are different standards of acceptance based on what's normal, right? If you said you had a dog, I'd just take you on your word because
you still wouldn't have a
dogs.
justification. Who cares what you take on a word? You don't have a justification whether or not I have a dog. So if somebody asked you for the justification, if I had a dog, you wouldn't be able to present one. It doesn't matter what you're convinced of.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But also, as far as we know, without a functioning intelligent system, it's not possible to form sentences. And I have to have a brain. Well, I mean, I don't know if ChatGPT functions inside people's skulls as opposed to brains.
Yeah, but if it's possible,
it was,
I don't have any justification that you have a brain outside of other people have brains. And technically speaking, I've never seen a brain inside a skull, so.
Oh, shit. Well,
I have.
Anyways. I mean, yeah, is that, well, all right. Well, I mean, I gave my justification for why, but yeah, that's about it.
Your justification is I haven't been convinced.
I haven't seen sufficient evidence to convince me. That's why I'm an atheist.
Yeah, so are you saying that there is a God, is not a God, or you don't know?
I don't believe there's a God.
No. Is there a God? Is there not a God? Or I don't know.
I mean, I don't think anyone knows.
Is there a God or is there not a God, or I don't know?
No, there's no God.
Okay,
Speaking, no.
Make that argument. Why is there no God?
Okay, well, every God that's been proposed has people have reasons for why they propose a specific God, unless you want to invoke deism, which is basically the same as atheism, and all of the specific reasons, whether it's historical
That's just
evidence,
you not being convinced of their
testimony.
gods. What is your positive argument for there being no God?
Oh, well, it depends on what God you're talking about.
If you say being with unbound power.
There's a God, if a being with unbound power, unbound, like unlimited, or just power that's not bound
can do
by
all
anything.
things within the realms of power.
Can do all things within the realm. I don't really understand the language. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be obtuse.
Yeah, being that is not limited by anything that has power, has no power, causal power over top of it.
Is that it? Are there any other descriptors?
There could be, but this is just the base descriptor that we're going to use.
Yeah, I'm not convinced of that God.
Don't care what you're convinced of. What's your argument? You said he doesn't exist. What's your argument for it?
Well, I didn't say I don't believe that God. You know, that I didn't say
I asked you if God exists.
God.
You said no. Are you backtracking?
No, it's just that's not the only qualification. For some people believe in gods that don't even fit that description. So
these
descriptors, then I can tell you if I'm not convinced or if I'm convinced it doesn't
It doesn't matter what you're convinced of. We need an argument that this being doesn't exist.
Okay. Well,
what's the argument?
It's kind of an inadequate definition of God, so I wouldn't be able to come up with an adequate argument for why it positively doesn't exist, as opposed to why I just am not convinced.
Why is it not adequate? A being with unbound power. Then is a being with bound power.
Because there's no evidence for or against a being. There's no such being that's observed.
So then you can say I don't know. You wouldn't say no.
Right, exactly. But if you gave more descriptors like I'm convinced that this being of unbound power specifically I don't know, led the Israelites out of Egypt and caused the waters to part and killed
just a being with unbound power. So
then
fine.
I could say
hold on, that's
God
fine.
possibly doesn't exist.
That's fine.
Sorry,
That's
go
fine.
ahead.
So a being with unbound power, you can't say doesn't exist. So you're agnostic.
Right. I am agnostic on that
Appreciate
specific deity.
All right, folks. Let's do a quick prayer and get out of here. Our Father is in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Lord, you are good in all that you do. I ask that you use these conversations to draw people into the knowledge and the love that you provide for them, and so that they could recognize the sacrifice that you did for us on the cross. If we're wrong for what we do, correct us and put us back on the right path. But if those come against us are wrong, correct them, Lord. Forgive us of our sins, never turn your face from us, and continue to give us grace. In Jesus' name, amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. For the power and the kingdom and glory are yours now and forever. All right, folks, if you want to support me, you could do so at bigjohnsteel.com, BIGJONSTEEL.com. You'll get access to all sorts of exclusive content on there. Although I'm not uploading as much on there lately, mainly because I'm keeping a lot of the stuff on YouTube. But if you want to support the channel and keeping content growing, the website is a good place to do it. There is over 500 hours of content on there already. So if you just ever want to binge watch something, we have my tired stream, the bonus stream, Jesus and Whatnot versus Dean, the problem with literacy rates, the D&D session that we were talking about is on here as well. You also have Christians try to prove that I'm not a Christian live. Everybody wanted to see that. So yeah, there's loads and loads and loads and loads of content on here, and it just helps the channel grow from the next show to the next show to the next show. So if you want to support that, that's the place to do it. Also, make sure you join our Discord. Link should be in my thingamajig, whatchamacallit. You guys know where to find it. That's where you're going to be able to play D&D with us. Hopefully, Than will be joining us. We shall see. He backs out last minute on everything, so we'll find out. With that being said, guys, I'm going to hang out on YouTube for about 5 more minutes. Everybody on TikTok, make sure you're following this account. We'll be back here on Wednesday. God bless. Have yourself a great day. Bye, Than.
You need to read super chats. Oh, also 83% people said that you were a prophet of Allah.
Based. All right, I'm just taking W's on that all over the place, bro. All over the place. Let's get to those soups that we were missing. Next guest, thank you for that. Than, you need to come back more often and see how many insane people John gets. Also, there's a coin for the best grifter. Thank you very much. Appreciate the $11. That's very nice of you. Well, since you asked so nicely, unrelated, ran a 12-minute mile for the first time ever today. Congratulations, bro. That's huge. That's huge. Diaper fund at 2.0 due to tariffs on diapers. Free PlayStation.
Almost got you.
Almost got me. Don't forget to put Than in touch. Need a D&D date. Yes.
Yeah, we need to do that.
We got to pick a date. Abby, pick a date. Abby, pick a date. Good session today, guys. We're slowly realizing that there is all people have, man, is anti-Christianity. That's all they got. That's what I proved over the last little while. Is that the only thing that anybody can rely on, except a few people have a few arguments, is anti-Christianity. Your God not real, therefore my belief. Christianity is not real, therefore Mormonism. Christianity is not real, therefore Islam. Christianity is not real, therefore atheism. Christianity is not real, therefore fill in the blank. Right? Whatever it might be. So that's what we've noticed over these past little while. Don't let people bully you. That's my point now, as to say to you Christians. This is what I hope to impart upon you guys. Don't let people bully you out of your faith. Oh, you can't prove it. Oh, you can't do blah blah blah. Your God, blah blah, and then just appeal to your lack of knowledge, because you don't have to be informed on everything to be a good Christian. And you just simply put it back on them. Like, okay, why do you believe what you believe? Why should I follow into your belief system? Oh, it's just a lack of belief. Okay, great. Well, I don't lack the belief, so give me a reason to.
This is funny. It's they're actually kind of a wiener, but it's funny.
What?
They just said, laughing there, butt off. Christian D&D has to be the cringiest thing ever. Okay, roll a d6 to turn the other cheek. And then they continue to be a wiener, but that's fine.
Funny. That's actually funny though.
That was funny. Yeah, we should add that.
Put my own faith under a lens, bucko. You guys must be new here. I've spent 5 years arguing the affirmative for Christianity. 5 years. 5 years I've been doing it. And everybody, oh, you can't defend your own. That's all I did for 5 years. Defended Jesus being God, defended the resurrection, defended the reliability of the Gospels, defended the original authorship. That's all I've done for 5 years. Defend it. The only thing I didn't defend is the prophecies, because I think that's such a hard thing to even navigate on what a prophecy is. But they all just come in and assume this is all you do. You love to talk about Christianity. Me, how do I get on the show? Call in next day. Hey, Jimbo, start streaming. We should raid him. We should raid Jim Bob.
Started streaming, yeah.
We could do that. Abby, you want to set it up?
Roll a faith check. I don't know how to do that. You never showed me.
Okay, well then we won't raid him today, because I don't want to do it. What's my opinion on presuppositional arguments? I'm an evidentialist at the current point, but I'm starting to read things that are a little bit more presup, and we're going to see what happens over the next year or so.
Are atheists invited to D&D?
Yeah.
Korean OnlyFans, you're welcome.
Yeah, of course. Of course you're invited. You have to take it up with Shake.
But yeah, you got to be an approved atheist.
Yeah. But 100% we could do that for sure. All right, folks. We love you all. Abby's got to do the timestamp, so I got to go. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Attention, test subjects. The crusade has concluded. Statistically, most of you survived. That number is higher than projected, so congratulations are technically in order. I want to thank each of you for your participation. Not because it was appreciated, the data will determine that later, but because company policy requires positive reinforcement regardless of actual performance. Let's review some highlights. Several of you showed remarkable dedication. Others showed up. Both are being logged as participation. Because apparently we're not allowed to distinguish between them anymore. To the individual who asked, is this mandatory? Yes, it was mandatory. It remains mandatory. Retroactively, to the person who brought snacks, thank you. You have been promoted to Provisional Morale Officer. This is not a paid position. It was never going to be a paid position, and to everyone who completed the crusade without significant injury, structural damage, or triggering an incident report, well done. You are, and I cannot stress this enough, exactly what we hoped for, adequate now. About next time, yes, there will be a next time. I know some of you were secretly hoping the crusade was a one-time event, like a natural disaster or a bad decision made at a company retreat. It was not. It is, in fact, an ongoing initiative, and your continued involvement has already been assumed, scheduled, and in some cases contractually implied, so mark your calendars. Bring your friends. Bring your enemies. Frankly, we're not picky, and neither is the sign-up sheet. We look forward to doing this again, and by look forward to, I mean the outcome is inevitable, and your feelings on the matter, while noted, will not be a factor. Thank you for participating. Thank you for surviving, and thank you in advance for coming back. The crusade is over. The next crusade